Howdy, Quantum Show. I am live again. What do you know? Pushing buttons, making things do things, making other things do other things. Okay, I did whip up a quick description, reference links, not very descriptive, but what I talked about first hour. Raven, you have your link sent to you in Facebook Messenger. I'm going to get some more people in here. If they show up, that's fine. I looked at Amy's show. She's talking about the current theories of UFOs and the general explanations to not freak out the public. And since I have been stopped from looking at UFOs, that's okay. Let me go ahead and... I think I might have had some echo in there, but I don't know. All right. But I am still sending links. Needed more coffee. And that is all right. I would like to get Raven. You have your link. Shadow is going to get a link, of course. He is on his stream right now, doing his weekend show, his Saturday show. Cool. I looked in. I did look in. You may pop in at any moment. And I'm just making sure everything looks good on that side of things. Yes, it does. I said cryptids, but we kind of went all the way away from cryptids because I have very little practical experience with them. I went to one Bigfoot conference. I'm going to go again. I'm going to be going again. I've already told Shingoji we're going to hook up, or I want to hook up with Shingoji over there. Okay, Shadow has his link. I would like to get our Keith Andrews in here too. If I can make this stupid thing cooperate. And Dorothy. Dorothy told me that she is so tired by the time my show comes on for the panel discussion that it's totally okay. If she shows up, great. She's always invited. Okay, where is our Keith? He is. Found him. My computer is so laggy. Oh my gosh. I have no idea. Or maybe you do. Oh no, I got StreamYard running in two places, right? One is passive. This is the active one right here. I am live, right? It says I'm live. So I'm going to go with I am live. Okay. Okay, our Keith has the link. Where is Joe? Now, I see some perspectives on cryptids. They are either the experiencer or someone hearing about it and reporting on it. I don't really know of any victims. Except for Dogman. And let me see here. And those victims are few and far between. Come on, stupid Facebook. Anyway. Hey, Edgar. Yep, live from Mars. You know it. So, Edgar, you are the first one in the chat that I can see that's made a comment. Tell us about the chupacabra. That's your area. He's in your area. Tell us about that chupacabra, bro. Put it in the chat. I'll post it up here. And tell us what you know. Tell us what you know about them. People with hooves, one and black eyes. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Dig deep, bro. Dig deep. Okay. Because I have seen very little in the way of that stuff in El Paso, though I know it's there. It's there. And other people see it. I have not seen it. Lots and lots of ghost stories. Where am I at? I would like to send the link out to one more person. That would be, let me see. Yeah, sorry. Energy is not so up. I've had a trying week. Okay? Family stuff. Not my best moments. And some major stuff. And it's family stuff. So it's hard to deal with because you want to get along, but then you don't want to put up no trash from people. And you want to maintain your own integrity. And that kind of gets difficult at times because it's a balancing act. And yeah. All right, there we go. I kept my word. Chupacabra cooking show today on the Quantum Show. We got fried, we got steamed, we got stir fried, we got broiled. How you want your chupacabra? You want a burger? You want pulled wings? Or what do you want? Chupacabra, does it even have wings? Come on, Edgar. There have been lots of sightings of the chupacabra in El Paso. Holy cow! Look at that. I got the mad scientist eyebrows going on tonight, huh? Good. Like I said, it's been a kind of a trying week. It's been family stuff. Not all pleasant. Alrighty then. Links are passed around. Raven, come on in. I am watching the front door for you. And yeah, I don't have very many cryptid anything secondhand or through equipment. I'm getting a message. It is on the internet. It is from Vincent. Okay. He says, I'll listen to your most recent YouTube live stream and give you my thoughts following. Awesome. Vincent, it was not a very great one. It was me rambling about something that I have very little experience in, and that's unfortunate because it is such a great topic. Cryptids, such a great topic. I'm hoping other people, and last time I did cryptids, I was talking about Dogman. Didn't have a whole lot of input from me or anyone because it's one of the most elusive subjects in this country, in this area. So it was a little bit, I wasn't really happy with it, to be honest. Good people, good talk, what we did have, not on topic. But that's okay. Here we are. I'm gonna try and make it right this time. And Vincent is in Facebook saying, I will listen to your most recent YouTube live stream and give you my thoughts following. Wish I had a better first hour solo for you. And let's see. I am reading and I'm looking and yeah. So if anybody wants to come in, the links are out. Twitter is active. YouTube is active. I got them both on right now. And it's the coffee show tonight, y'all. Me and Amy. As far as okay, what I do understand about cryptids from the outside looking in is that I was talking with Raven a little while ago. Said that some of them are escaped experiments from the government, secret space force, and I need more information. Drop me a link. You're a mod. You can put in links in the chat room now, or in the YouTube chat. Go ahead, do that. And if you want to come on in. The link is in your inbox. That makes me think of, I can't remember what it's called. I'm tired. It has been a rough few days. Okay, and yeah, when Sabrina comes around and starts really interacting with me, it's a rough time. All right, she's my she helps me when emotions run into the confused and the insecure and fearful and the dark side of stuff. Okay, and I don't dwell there, but it happens. It happens to all of us. And this is the smoke 'em if you got 'em section of the show. You know what that means? Smoke 'em if you got 'em. So, but yeah, talked a little bit about Bigfoot and lots of research. I swear they are interdimensional or extraplanar or something. Okay, they are not just animals that we haven't found yet. There are plenty of those anyway, but not Bigfoot, not Bigfoot, not Dogman. People found people just people don't take any of the reports seriously. They don't take them seriously, and when they do happen and they get shot down, would we accept any evidence if we found it? Would we? Same goes for everything. We say, well, it has to be proven by science. Science can't prove something. Science can't prove it because it doesn't exist within our laws of reality. It exists within our laws and within other laws. And it seems like when you have a crossover, stuff doesn't jive. And it seems to make no sense given those parameters, right? So uh, maybe we need to. I have a phrase: get over your darn self, right? Maybe we should collectively get over our darn selves and accept the weirdness because we all have. Everyone who comes to the show has accepted the weirdness because it ain't gonna get no more normal. What happens when you try to deny it? You start having to take meds. You get depressed. You get confused and anxiety. And if you try to deny it, it's so prevalent in all of our lives. It literally hurts to deny it. Okay? Go ahead. Try it. You won't like it. I suggest you just accept it. Because the weird shit happens, be there with it. Embrace it. Because it's going to be there with you whether you want it or not. That's it. That's all. And that's why we do this, why we do what we do. And I seem to be experiencing a lot of lag. I'm going to turn Facebook off so I can clear up some bandwidth. And I'm going to go ahead and get the YouTube chat going over here so I can see what's going on and post links and at people and tag and this and that. So waiting for a panel, because if it's going to be me, it's going to be boring. I said everything first hour. And I will go ahead and put the link in the chat because I'm low energy. Maybe this cough, maybe I've made it wrong. Maybe I need to stick to half calf or something because it says we got 4 in the chat. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Quantum Show. I believe I am one of 4. That's coffee. That's some good stuff right there. I did not make the mushroom coffee today, this time. Wow, it is really lagging. I'm lagging on my screen. I wish I could show y'all, but it would like do this weird effect and if the whole thing would crash. I don't want to do that. So, yeah, I am not even tentatively. I am going to that thing in July. Hey, Joe, welcome back. Your link is in the inbox in Facebook Messenger. So come on whenever you're ready. Doors unlocked for you. And you have some cryptid talk I want to hear about too. Cryptids, going to try to stay on cryptids. Not one, any. Because that branches out into so many other things. And, well, that's the nature of it here at the Quantum Show. I am looking to do, when I get out to any event, I'm going to one in May. That other one is in July. I'm going to one in May. I'm going to Florida. And it's going to be another convention. Here's something that happened, something interesting, right? I didn't realize, and hey, GM's Alcove, welcome to the Quantum Show. Don't think I've seen you here before. Not by that name. Welcome to the Quantum Show. Just talking about encounters in strange places with strange things. And okay, I went to Indiana and I went to Fanboy Expo last year in Indianapolis. Saw 3 aliens. And James, hey James, come on. You know what? If you're up to coming in, you may come in. Panel has begun. This is for James. If I see anybody else that you're not authorized, forget about it. But there's the link. The link is in the chat on YouTube StreamYard. So come on. And okay, James says he's just going to listen in today. Okay, cool. And okay, went to Indianapolis. Went to the convention there, Fanboy Con, and Fanboy Expo. Did not. I was talking. Okay, now I do not fanboy over the same things. It was a Transformers based convention. Okay, all the sci-fi was present, but it was this Transformers IP, whatever. And I was looking, and I was talking to people, and I was talking to the authors, and I bought a bunch of books. Okay, got a bunch of business cards. I was supposed to do a whole bunch. Hey, Joe, come on in. Joe is coming in. I am looking at your desk, I think. That looks like your desk. I'm going to jump on your audio, see what that looks like.
That looks like my desk.
That sounds like a huge audio.
Just a second. I'll take care of it.
I got it. Took care of it on this end. We should be good now.
All right.
Yeah, we just yeah, gotcha. Okay. But I was talking about the encounters I had and the things, not exactly excursions, but I'm going to Florida in May. And then I was relating it to Indianapolis. Indiana is the #1 UFO sighting reporting of the United States for the past 20 years. Got a book from Cheryl Costa. Link will be in the description. And Indiana is #1. You'd think someplace in the desert, but it is not. And I'm going to Florida, which is number 2. Florida is number 2 for UFO sightings. And hey, Cal, welcome back to the Quantum Show. Thanks for coming by. Just talking about going over past events. And but yeah, Florida is number 2. And guess what I'm doing? A Transformers convention. I'm going to be walking around, but this time I'm going to be recording. I have a really fancy camera now, and I'm going to be talking to people, taking testimonials, seeing who has had weird stuff happen, and generally feeling the crowd out and watching for aliens to show up. Showed up at one Transformers convention, they might show up at another. We shall see. So anyway, Joe, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fairly well, but as you can see by my bench, I'm behind on work. So I'm
Yeah.
going to be I'm going to be screwing around.
Okay. What are you working on?
Taking this, believe it or not, that's a power supply for an antique radio.
I believe it. And you're rebuilding it, repairing it?
It doesn't have the typical tubes or anything like that. So I'm quite interested in knowing what they did on the inside at that period of time that didn't require tubes and still get voltage regulation out of it.
How antique are we talking about?
Not too much. This would have been after the 20s and before the 40s. So, in the 30s there.
Okay, cool. I love that old tech. I still have a couple of pieces floating around, though. I can't really focus on them too much. Got a lot going on, I mean, new job, the whole quantum show, maintaining life, all that stuff. And but I still have my Atari. I still have an Atari. I have yeah.
I'm talking about 90-year-old stuff, and he's mentioning antique being Atari.
The 80s, yeah. I used to have a whole bunch. I ordered some new antique replacement potentiometers, and they were meant for, now those haven't changed in a whole long time, right? But I've got a bag of them, replacements for, there were volume controls for an amp, but the amp was very old amp. I did not fix it. Someone asked me, and I was like, yeah, I can get parts, and poof, they're gone, right? But that's okay. I got some antique compatible potentiometers out of it. But yeah, the oldest stuff I have is actually from the 80s. I might have something from the 60s floating around here. I'm not sure.
But yeah, well, even those things from the 80s, I would be replacing capacitors in. And anytime those old power capacitors get 20 years old or more, it's about time to look for new ones.
Right. Yeah, they're not exactly modular components either. And it's neat that you're bringing out tech in the beginning, because talking about cryptids, I have an idea. Now, I've mentioned this before, talking about if you want to make something act a certain way, you can either brute force it into place, or you can change the environment. Like add something, remove something, add pressure, remove pressure, add light, remove light. Well, a very small example would be a salt lamp. Are you familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Use those for deer.
Yeah. Not a salt lick, a salt lamp.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm familiar with that too. Gonna get the pink one? Gonna get the pink one from the Himalayas?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That one. Somehow Target just got a deal. There was a whole shelf of pink salt lamps at Target yesterday. I'm going to go back and get one because I was there for a specific reason. But I want to get one because those, now it is a small LED light, but it changes the environment slightly in a limited area. I want to put a very bright light in one because these things, basically you just took it, it was a chunk of salt crystal with a hole drilled in it with a thing with an LED light is kind of under it, right? Just kind of wedged in place. Maybe some screws, maybe some clamps, I'm not sure. But I'm going to get a very bright light, very bright LED, put it in there, like 12 volts, and
Yeah, like a car headlight.
not that bright, but very bright, maybe a fog light, and put it in there and make it super brighter than it is because these things are very dull looking. But the trick is not that it puts out pink light, but it puts out positive ions or electrons. Oh my God, it's been a heck of a week. It spreads ions. Okay.
Yeah, hey, I when you reverse that, I thought it'd probably been a long day, and I was
It's
going to
been a
say anything
long
about
few
it.
days. There's been a whole lot of stuff. It spreads ions. That in turn changes the atmosphere through carrying it through light, which is fascinating by itself. And I'm going to take one out, battery operated, and see what happens. I'm going to hell, I'll probably end up starting using it as part of my regular pack out to where got this, got that, got this, got that, got salt lamp. I will be doing salt lamp. And just to change the environment, because that's something that people are overlooking is, well, if cryptids exist in a certain environment, what if we alter the environment slightly? We might get some kind of interaction going
You
between
might
them and
find
the
something
air.
they favor.
Right, right. Or just something they can, I don't know, interact with and easier than what we have nowadays, which is not a whole lot. What do we have? We have the flashlight test, the flashlight communication, turn it on for yes, off, blink it once for yes, twice for no, or all that stuff. And yeah, I'm going to Florida and I'm going to be probably carrying a salt lamp around with me, looking like a crazy person. But it's a Comic Con, so everybody's going to be looking like a crazy person that's a fan. So,
You're the ancient Greek looking for wisdom.
yes, I should probably cosplay it, but I don't know. But yeah, see, I don't have a whole lot of experience with cryptids, but they're fascinating to me. And there's one that I meant to mention in the first hour, Dogman Rascal. I'm going to look up his story again. Happened in the 60s, 70s to a guy in Kentucky. Apparently, Kentucky's weird, okay? Weirder than here. And weirder than El Paso, though El Paso weird is more like human-based weird. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see. Who's this? Oh my God, oh my gosh, there is a Dogman hero. This is funny. I'm going to do the best I can on this right here. Pikey.com. Who's coming in the front door? That's Shadow. Hey, buddy. How's it going, man?
What's happening, everybody? Oh my God, Cal, Fritz. Oh my God, nice to see you guys here.
Bunch of people showing up. It's good to have them.
Yep. We had a great show just a minute ago. I'm betting Omen Owl and WW2 and Grim are still sitting there chatting in the after party, but I had to leave. I had to do human stuff and join you guys as soon as possible because I might have to bail. My son's at a dance tonight, a JROTC ball, and I'm going to probably have to go pick them up. But I will be right back, knowing you guys will probably still be here. I'll be gone maybe 30, 40 minutes to go pick him up and bring him back.
Okie doke.
I think we can hold down the fort that long.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. So everybody have a great week.
It was okay. It was a week.
You could have kept the cold.
Yeah. It's
You
hot
could have
here.
kept the cold.
It's 60-something degrees right now, and I was totally not expecting it.
Yeah, but yesterday it snowed. Yesterday it snowed, and today it's right now it's 59 degrees in the mad scientist room.
Yeah, it's still in the 40s. It did go up to almost 50. Spring's only like a couple of weeks away, so it's probably going to be a longer winter, but just got to push through it.
Yeah, well, as I said, you could have kept it. You didn't have to send it on.
Wasn't a poop. It wasn't a poop, Bo. It was all that water I drank. I was my show ran a little late, and I was having to almost do the pee-pee dance, behind the scenes. Yeah, too much information, I know, but Bo brought it up. Does chupacabra taste like chicken? I think it tastes like goat, because that's what it means, goat sucker.
And it looks like a mangy dog.
So I can call my Chewy a Chewy Cabra, because we used to actually call him that, Chewy Cabra.
Chewy Cabra, when he was a little,
when he was just a little pup guy. He was so cute when he was a pup. He's still a cutie pie. He really is. But God, that dog of mine, man.
I'm going to be clattering some things around here, so I'm going to mute the mic.
Okay.
No worries. Hey, you heard from Raven? Because I sent her an email because she sent me this video and I'm watching and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. And since she's not here, I'm going to ask you. She's talking about that sort of reality hopping thing, I'm like, I can't do that, guys. Even if I wanted to, I can't do it.
I haven't seen what you're talking about, so I will have to.
I'll either have her send you the video or I'll send it to you. But I can't leave my son. I can't do it. Because what if like an evil shadow shows up and takes my place while I'm over there? You know what I mean? Then I can't do it. I can't do it. Until he's like grown up and married and stuff. I'm like, dang it, I'm stuck here, man. I couldn't do it.
I hear you.
No freaking way.
Well, just don't get on a starship and go to Alpha 177. Bad things happen there.
Yeah, well, that's part of the plan. That's one of the reasons he chose Air Force is he wants to, help me find stuff out and, maybe go Space Force if he's got the right stuff or at least, sneak me out some files, No, I didn't say that out loud, did I? Oh, shit. yeah, guys. Yeah, you alphabet guys are gonna have a long wait following my boy's career. It's like waiting for him to slip up, huh? But they'll be like, Dad, you were crazy this whole time, man. I got all the files. It's nothing but hooey. And I'm like, yeah, right. That ain't gonna be the case. He's gonna be like, oh my God, Dad, you were right the whole time. I'm so sorry, dude. Now I gotta run because they're after me. But we'll see.
Well, you can always not say things by saying things, or say things by not saying things.
Spoken like a true master of not saying things. You know what I'm saying there, Joe? You are the master when it comes to that. With just a freaking look, you could say like a freaking entire novel. So, I don't know about you guys, but I had a really good week, really weird week. Not really, really weird, you know. And you know what it was, Nathan? You know what I saw?
What's that?
Venus and Jupiter.
Cool.
You know how they were hooking up, you know, last week?
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's all it was.
Okay. Yeah.
I was
saw
like
them
all
last night.
excited. I had it marked in the sky. I had my binoculars ready, and the next day, Angelica says, "Hey, where are your binoculars?" I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Oh, I want to go check out Jupiter and Venus." And I just went, "Oh shit, that's what it was." I'm like, "Oh man, it wasn't a UFO." Okay, well, I'll just keep looking.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh, that's Venus and Jupiter. Okay, cool, awesome. Because I had clear skies here last night, clear enough, and I saw
Yeah,
them and I was like,
we've got like a really good telescope, and you know, we could hook it up, but you know, it's so bloody cold out. It's like when we do that, it's like it takes us longer to line it up. What we're looking at, it was like, screw this, we're going back inside. Springtime, that'll be different. You know, we'll be able to, you know, set it up, you know, and you know, do that kind of thing. But right now, that's for the birds, man. Not
yeah,
even remotely interested. But you know, it was weird. I was doing some experimenting. I haven't got my crystals yet, but I'm working on it because that's going to be one of my big things. As soon as I can just do it, I had to wait until the new month rolled in. You know, I'm spending money like a drunken sailor, and I've been practicing with my dreams with you know, because you guys all know that I'm like a freaking tablet junkie, and my tablet's on like even when I sleep. I've got to rotate my tablets to keep them always powered on, and I started experimenting because I was noticing, you know, what I was listening to was affecting what I was dreaming about, you know, so instead of listening to news, which is never a good idea, I started switching over to like listening to like, you know, archaeology videos or audio books of things you know, I know I'm just going to have to listen to it over again because I'm not absorbing it the right way, um, you know, to, you know, have better dreams. And I could totally tell the difference. Oh, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. But I actually had one really weird dream. I was dreaming that I was dreaming. You know what I mean? I knew that I
Yep.
was dreaming, and I was like, so I woke up in the dream and had started having a completely different dream. It was really, really funny. So if you're gonna do the, you know, listening to something while you sleep, pick something good. You know, pick something uplifting and happy. Because last week, or not last week, but the week before, I had that one dream where it was just god awful. Just I woke up just like I needed a shower. It's like what the hell, you know? It was just all kinds of ugliness and stuff. I'm like, nope, nope, not having any more of that.
yeah. My dreams have not been very active lately, and I can't remember them. I remembered. No, I can't remember any of them. I haven't. What? It helps when I wake up in the middle of it, and that way I can remember.
Okay, check this out. Bo wants to tell us a story. I'll tell you a story my dad used to tell me 50 years ago. My old man said he was hunting elk up above Arizona's Mongolian rim, pronounced Mungion, and he had what he thought was a Bigfoot in his scope, but he did not shoot. He said it was because he could not identify his target completely.
Good hunter.
I
Where
say,
is
why not?
this?
That's what an honest skeptic says. Yeah, you know, yeah, you know, my part of me wants to say I'd take the shot, but then again, you know, it's like, no, I don't want to, you know, have to, you know, bury some poor hunter who was not wearing his orange vest or something, you know. Yeah, be very, very careful, and you know, always have a camera. I just thought to date they're bringing back the Polaroid. The
I've
Polaroid
seen it.
camera.
Yeah, they've been out for a while. There's a couple of different variations you can do. The Polaroid with the big square one, I've seen
Yep.
those, and there's these little tiny ones where you just pull it out the side. I've seen that one too. It's like a kid's camera, but it
Yep.
uses actual Polaroid film where you load it and you take a picture and you pull it out and you got this tiny
Yep.
little thing.
That's exactly what I saw. Was that Walmart in the toy aisle? I'm like, God, that looks like a Polaroid, and it said Polaroid on it. I'm looking at it. I'm like, it was a metal case shaped like the old Polaroid, but the camera's inside the box, and I'm like, huh. That could come in real handy, because I don't know about you guys, but I know that if I took some real 35 millimeter photos and went somewhere to get them developed, I know they would just come back crap. It'd be like, oh, someone. I know if I worked there, I'd at least be making copies of half the stuff I was developing. It's like, oh, that's pretty interesting, And the address is right here, No, I wouldn't do that. But, I could see getting in trouble because I used to work for Kodak a long time ago for a short period of time. And my old man, he worked there too. And whatever camera you think is the top of the line, best of the best on the market right now, that is nothing compared to what they're just sitting on. The camera technology is just amazing. And it was back then, they had digital cameras before we knew what the word digital was practically. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
What they're sitting on is at least 50 years ahead of what we have now.
Yep. And I wonder where they got that technology. Just saying, was it? Hey, James, what's happening, buddy? Long time no see. And yes, I am getting ready to pull the trigger on that cosmic solar blades and cosmic spells. I'm pulling the trigger on that tomorrow. That looks like a lot of fun and right up my alley, or as you say, right down my street. Which I actually like that version of the expression better, because right up my alley reminds me of a South Park episode. Just saying. My boy's been playing the South Park PlayStation Stick of Truth game. I had to watch a very disturbing segment of that game today with Lemmy Winks. I'm just going to leave that right there. And I'm just like, oh, my God. Don't let your mama see this. Just don't.
I have not seen it, but I am familiar with the show. So I know it's pretty raunchy.
Yep.
And sarcastic.
And being as much of a prude as he is, the fact that he can still keep watching it and playing it, warms my heart that he's not going to, be kind of one of those weird people, that can't interact with, certain kinds of people because he's so puritanical. And he's got a date at the ball tonight, so I can't wait to, hear how that went. So, pretty proud Papa,
a good time. I know we'll have it.
I remember that era of my life, and it was, it went from one thing, really awkward and nerdy, to the exact opposite for a good period. Despite the fact that I was, role playing and war gaming and all that stuff, it's really, it's really, an awesome part of my life, getting to watch him grow up and see those things through his eyes. And hopefully when I get these crystals, I can not have him throwing holy water at me and stuff. Because I really want to put that on my to-do list this month and get some good ones. So I'm gonna take some notes tonight when we get later on down the show or what have you. I wrote down that place you told me of, Joe. Is it here?
Art by God.
Yeah, Art by God. Right.
Yeah.
Because I really want to try, especially with the amethyst, because that's the one that intrigues me the most. Healing and stuff like that. Absolutely. I mean, how could that not be a good thing? And it's just that I had this really bad experience um, where I had a crystal and I did all the things that are different than what you guys say. It was supposed to be a health one, and it sounds weird, but I think I did something wrong because afterwards, everybody around me's health got really, really bad. And mine was, just fine. I was actually, you know, potentially noticeably better, but like my mom and my dad, theirs just went like I was sucking the life out of them, and I had to, to the point I got rid of that crystal and smashed it in little tiny bits, and because I was just like terrified that I was creating a cursed artifact that was healing me and killing them.
You vampire?
I don't know. Is that a possibility? Is that a thing that can happen? Um,
Usually not. Usually, if you put positive energy towards a crystal, you get positive energy out.
mhm.
Yeah.
In fact, it
I,
magnifies it. So I'm
right.
just
I don't
teaching.
know that.
I'm
Yeah,
just
it
teaching you about the
magnifies what
vampire
is
bit.
there. Yeah.
Oh no, I know. I can tell with the sound of your voice. But Fritz raises a good question. Do you guys ever chat about runes at all? Just curious.
Yes, and when Raven gets here, she'll tell you all about runes. She reads them.
I've taught runes before.
I've learned from you about runes before. I
Okay,
was
real
a
quick
rune
beginner
reader.
question then. Um, okay, I've always thought of them as just a couple of things. One, that just being another language that we've kind of just attributed to stuff to them because it's an ancient language, and maybe because of the mythologies and legends that surrounded them, that they were people just misinterpret them as something more than just the equivalent of the alphabet, because I've seen runes that were just the equivalent of a different version of our alphabet. Well, what's the big difference? Are there certain ones that are just handed down from the creator or what have you from the beginning of time, and this is part of magic? This is like this symbol will always mean this particular magical thing from now until the end of time.
Well,
I
if you
wish
look,
it were true.
yeah, if you look at it a certain way, they're given by Odin, the Allfather, and they all qualify as to the end of time runes. If you go with the Odin perspective,
Mm-hmm.
um, but runes are very similar. Yeah, no, they're not just an interpreted language. They are. Here we go. They're your interpretation, your mind's eye. What do they mean to you, and what happens when you see them? Right now, originally, you take sticks. Right, you take a bundle of sticks, and you throw them onto a surface, whatever
Okay,
you're, and then
like throwing bones.
like throwing bones,
Or
except these are
I
sticks.
Ching. I Ching
Right, I
is
was
the
going to say that.
closest modern equivalent.
Okay,
Right.
and you look at the way the sticks interact with each other, right? So that's where the runes come from. Let's
Not to be confused with pixie stick. And I
what
don't mean the candy, but there was a game called Pixie
pixie
Stick.
sticks? No, no.
Yeah.
Not the candy, but there was a game, and I
uh,
was wondering if that was kind of like the equivalent of sort of a kid's version of the Ouija board, where someone brought forth this magic ritual type of thing and disguised it as a toy.
runes? No, these are old.
No, the bones.
Oh,
How Pixie Stick. It was kind of a similar thing where you dropped them and then you had to like pull out certain colors or something. But it could be viewed from a distance as something similar to dropping or rolling your bones or I Ching.
okay. I don't know all of them off the top of my head. I spent years using them, but here's a couple of them. Right now, you're looking
Okay.
for patterns like these, where the sticks intersect, and the locations of where these are.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
just a few of them, right? Where they
Okay.
are
No.
in
I'm totally getting
relation.
that though.
What?
I'm totally getting that. I can see how if you just took like some bamboo skewers, okay, and you just drop them, and if you actually see some of those symbols, then that's what the sticks are trying to tell you.
Right. And it's all
Okay.
about what the symbols you see interacted, are they connected to something else, and that's where your own mental ability comes in, because you can divine with anything, right? But
Right.
these
Tea
appeal to
leaves.
a, yeah, right. I was thinking the same thing, tea leaves, or throwing bones, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all up here. It's how you relate to them, and how do they relate to each other. Okay, it's not like
Right.
reading.
It's similar to interpreting tarot cards.
Very similar. You're using your own, what I call, quantum link to take what you have, and this is bridging the gap between here and there, and the information that you're getting is up to you to interpret.
Yeah, for
Right.
me,
Kind of
tarot
like
cards are easy. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say,
To,
because I used to read tarot cards from an early age, and I knew that um, the same reading could actually be different for a different person. If you move the person that you're reading for and swapped in someone else, they could have a totally different meaning. And
Right,
just with like what you were explaining with the stick, um, one person might not, it's kind of like those word scrambles. One person looked at it and they're going to see certain words right off the bat. Another
right,
person looked at, they're going to see different words. Those words replace those with runes. If one person dropped the sticks and you had a row of people and each one looked at them, they would pick out certain runes instead of the next guy. He's going to see something else instead. He might catch on to the, like the B shape where the other guy's like, oh no, I saw this first or that first. So, it's a perspective thing.
yeah,
And from that, if, for example, someone back in the old days only knew like 8 rooms, okay, that's all they knew. But another guy comes in and is like, oh no, but then there's that one there, and then that one there, and that one there. You missed all these other ones. So depending on who's looking,
hmm
kind of like, quantum physics and particles and stuff, depending on who's looking, they'll see something completely different.
right. Perspective. The perspective and what that person knows and how they can relate what they
Mm-hmm.
feel to what they see. Well, that was the original way of doing it, right? Now there are. She uses rune cards. I
Okay.
used. Now they're a lot like tarot cards, except there's not that many of them. There's not 56 runes, right? I forget how many. I forget how many. Maybe GM's
Maybe Fritz,
alcove.
maybe Fritz would know.
Yeah,
You can call him Fritz, right,
Fritz.
Fritz?
Okay, Fritz. Maybe Fritz would know. Maybe there are. I don't remember. Um,
there's more.
yeah, I can't remember. It's been literally 20 years since I read runes, and I know a couple of them as like personal, but not the whole alphabet anymore. Um, Also, okay, when I was reading runes, I cheated big time. I carried a book with all the runes in them, right? And it was
Mm-hmm.
a little book, and Joe, you'll remember it. I trimmed it out with felt and ribbon, right? It looked very witchy, and they were made of, somebody called it terracotta, like little stones, but it was
Okay.
like
Little bits of
baked
clay.
clay. Yeah, little baked
Okay.
clay, and I
Okay.
got it from a bookstore. Got it from, I forget where, Barnes and Noble or something,
Okay.
and that's what I was using. I would look them up on the fly, and they would come out just like. And I did a. I'm remembering. I would do your tarot card spread. I would do one rune, 3 runes, and I call it a pull, right? And instead of
Okay.
shuffling up, I would just. I don't want them to break, right? So I would just roll them around in my hand in the bag that I made for them,
Okay.
and pull out the runes as they come. The only thing I would do is like feel which side is the rune on, because it was like embossed, and I would put out 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's the 5, and then the supporting ones over there if I needed any more.
Okay.
And that's a kind of spread. course, it's
Okay.
all
Rich
subjective.
says there are 24 in the Eldar Futark. I guess that's how you pronounce it. And then he
Elder
says
Yes.
plus.
Plutarch.
Okay. Because I would like to see them on a dice format. That would be for me that would be ideal. But you have to do it. You'd have to do it like I used to have these dice that had letters on them. But in order to spell anything, you're going to have certain ones like vowels and stuff more often than the consonants, because otherwise you're going to get gibberish.
Right.
So if there are certain runes that are like more common or more likely to show up or something like that, does that make any sense, Fritz? So that if you had, because I'm guessing that, you like you said, you only use 3, 2, and 3 again. Well, then you're not going to, need,
All the
more than
rest of
8.
them.
You have, you'd only want like 8 dice, and with the 8 dice, 8 times 6 is more than 24, or however more are in the lesser arcana or whatever. So you'd need I wouldn't know how to
You are
work it
trying
out
to
right here.
quantify the quantum right there. That's what you're doing. I used to do that all the time. You know what? Whatever it's whatever works. If you need that kind of systematic things for it to work, that's what you need.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking in order to get, something that's fair and completely random, because, if you had X number of dice where each rune is only one time, that might not work mathematically. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might end up having some that would, we got a couple of empty blank spaces on these dice, so we either leave a blank or we duplicate something.
But a blank
The
die
blank
means
is
something.
a rune. The blank is a rune also.
Right.
like a period or a comma kind of thing.
No,
No.
like destiny. It's the force.
It is a serious one.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's,
okay.
It's
Okay,
like
well,
the-
but even then, you see my point mathematically, depending on, let's just assume we're working with 6-sided dice.
Try 3-sided dice.
well,
Or
6
whatever it
divided by
takes,
2.
but yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You want runes to do that for you? Sure. I mean, the thing I was working with was the random element of it, and the random element is what was my key. I wouldn't put all the runes out, right? A lot of
Obviously.
instructions say you want to put all the runes out and draw them like cards. I didn't do that. I didn't want to do that. I would keep them in the little bag that I made, and I would reach in and I would mix them around, and whatever, I would bring one out, and that's the rune it was. And whichever way, straight up or inverted, with runes, it's kind of subjective. I
Tarot
would go
cards,
with
same thing.
right tarot
Right
card.
side, up side.
Right, I would put it just like that. And if it was sideways, I put that as oops, my mistake. So I would just, what would I feel like? What does it feel like to me? And there is my quantum link kicking in, and it would be, how do I perceive this? How do I interpret this? And if you want to put it on rune or on dice, right? Well, I would suggest as simple as possible, right? I would suggest as simple D6s, okay? D6s is what I would say. And mathematically, I see what you mean. You don't want to have too many repeating, but also runes
Yeah, especially because of the definition. It would be like having a deck of tarot cards with the, the tower or some card like that in there multiple times, because you're just going to end up with, a bad telling, reading. It's like, oh crap, every time I do it, I pull the tower for some poor schmuck, Welcome to the show, YJ and James L. You know what? I have to look because I think I have a bunch of those cards from that card game. And if not, I'm going to have to get them just because, not just because you brought it up, but because I remember there were some strange predictions in that card game. Hey, Alien Girl.
Hey, Alien Girl.
I got a bone to pick with her. I got a bone to pick with her.
Uh-oh.
Why is your show got to be on so dang early? The only reason I get to watch your show is because that's about the time I usually wake up in the middle of the night. Mind you, I don't have to be up for like 3 more hours, but I'm old, so I have to wake up and pee. I know too much information. So I wake up and then, like an idiot, I grab my device and I look and see, because I'm obsessive compulsive and I have to check my email and all that stuff. And then I go, oh, crap, Alien Girl's on. So I'm going to have to watch this for a while. And that means I'm going to have to take a longer nap after my boy goes to school. And I'm sitting here all by myself. So what am I going to do? Do I have to like disrupt my whole
You
sleeping
can watch the
schedule?
reruns.
That's no fun. That's no fun. You know that. I want to, say hi and stuff and watch your show because I dig it and I'm a big nerd. Um, and I really like the energy that you put out there. That's I mean, not gonna lie, it's a really
It's a
fun show to
breath of
watch.
fresh air from the rest of ufology. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, so is this show. You know,
Yeah, Amy's show is the morning show that I look forward to it. I hate missing Amy's show because it is a pickup. It's a high energy, good feeling pickup for me. And it's ufology, so it's awesome. And yeah, she's
okay,
not
so where
normally.
are you? If you don't mind me asking, so I can kind of figure out the time zone. Um, yeah, because like it's
Arizona.
only 9. Oh, really? That's like right next door to me. I'm in Cali. So, oh, but you guys don't do time zones in Arizona, right?
They're lost in the ether.
How do you manage to pull that
time
off?
time does not exist in Arizona. Oh, my bad. New Mexico, my bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's why. Okay,
She
because I'm
definitely
like,
has a time zone there.
yeah, the land of enchantment. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Um,
Yeah. Amy said,
Next
"Fuck it,
door
let's."
neighbor, then.
Yeah, Amy started her show. Said, "Fuck it, I'm doing a show about right before I started doing the same thing." I said, "Fuck it, let's roll." And Amy did that a little while before I did, and I was like, "You know what? All this weird shit's right here. I'm gonna go with it." And Amy did kind of the same thing. And
and I gotta tell you, Amy, I the one time I went through New Mexico, absolutely love it. I live in the high desert here in California. I'm like, this place is awesome. But then again, there's some stuff going on there that I'm not real thrilled about. So, you know, it, that's me. I'm an old fart. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do because now I'm like, you know, do I get up and watch the show and then go back to sleep and then as soon as my boy heads off to school, because I'm retired, I can do that. But at the same time, I'm doing my own show. I do about 5 shows in the mornings, Monday through Friday now, that are all like right after he leaves and stuff. So it's like I'm gonna actually have to start going to bed at a decent time, is what I'm getting at. I don't want to do that. I want to stay up to like midnight, 1 o'clock, doing nothing, because I'm an idiot. So like, I don't know what to do. I'm like,
oh, I am screen capping that, Amy. I got that, and you're going to go on the thumbnail.
what is that?
Let's
That
fucking
that
roll, hell yeah, Nathan.
the card in
New
that deck
thumbnail.
calls for society to get +4 to attempt to control and science of space group, or +8 direct control for any space group. Are you guys both reading off the Illuminati card game cards there, YJ?
I have got
That's
to.
exactly what it sounds like. Back in the 80s or 90s, Steve Jackson from Steve Jackson Games, the guy who made Ogre, made a card game called Illuminati, and it had all kinds of goofy stuff in it, tinfoil hats, and all the you know stuff, and I think that was a card that I remember.
Okay. I'm going to be posting this as the thumbnail.
I'm not sure if Fritz, is this for me or for Nathan. I'm glad you recognize the power of the runes as divination. They are much more. However, language, yes, but also the symbology is very powerful, powerful tools. You know, I
That is
learn more
heavy.
about you all the time, Fritz. Um, yeah. No, no, I figured you know, when you told me about what you do for the holidays and stuff, I figured that was, you know, kind of part of it. I'm just, you know, trying to, you know, balance myself between a whole bunch of different worlds. And, you know, one of these days you're going to find me. I'm going to be spread so thin you can see right through
Moisturize me.
me.
Maybe.
That's a Doctor Who joke for all y'all.
Yeah, no, I
Perverts out
remember. I
there.
remember. Yes. Yeah, that's kind of creepy too, actually.
Very. But yeah, I'm glad you. I'll go ahead and put that up. And he was talking about
No,
that.
okay,
Yeah,
YJ
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. The
and
power of the
Fritz.
runes is definitely. It speaks directly from your subconscious, and it's not for everybody. Most people that I know who do this stuff do tarot, but runes are very specific, and I don't know why I gravitated towards them. And literally, I did not know about much of anything when I found that rune book. I had heard a little bit about all this different stuff, and then I found the rune book,
You,
and it just
you
was
know,
like,
I was making them at the
it,
store.
it doesn't. It's not really surprising when I think about it. You know, certain we do that. We gravitate towards certain things to, you know, because we're all unique and we're all attracted to different things. I still have my original tarot deck I got for my 16th birthday from a couple of friends of mine. You know, we were, you know, I was like 16 and they were a little bit older than me, and they were kind of, you know, a couple of, you know, witchy girls, and they, you know, got them for me for my 16th birthday. I still have them. I still every once in a while, you know, check them out. You know, I don't really,
mm-hmm,
you know, do it much anymore, um, just because at a certain point it was more about just, you know, preserving them and keeping them from rotting, you know, than wanting to use them on a daily basis. I know if I, you know, got a new set, it would be no different. But these are like, you know, kind of one of those mementos kind of things, you know.
No, they're vastly different.
Really?
Really.
take it,
I've got
Joe.
I've got encyclopedias on them. Books that are, you know, inch and a half thick and, you know, good good tabletop size. And
How so? So you're saying
hmm,
basically that my old set would be different than a new set?
yes, unless you
Huh.
got exactly the same author
Yeah, the writer
and
tarot deck.
artist. Right,
Okay.
Different energies imbued into them.
right.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
when
Yeah.
you look at the old French one, a lot of stick figures and things like that. I mean,
Right. No,
uh,
I figured it wasn't so much about the item as opposed to the person.
well, even the colors being used, uh, and a lot of times I get clues off of the colors or the Jewish language that's on them, the Jewish
Hebrew,
symbols that are on them, Hebrew
Hebrew.
symbols that are on them, and you know, different things pop out at you sometimes when you know, like you were saying, you're doing a reading for one person, and you look at the symbols, and yeah, you see the Seven of Swords, you know, and
Right. But the
you
number
know,
seven of
you
swords
see
or the image itself can be completely, you know, have a completely different meaning from one person to the next. Absolutely. Um,
right, or you can see the background color pops out, but the foreground seems muted, and you know, you go, well,
okay.
this card is muted. You know, there's, and then you think about that color. We had a whole course in our circles about ritual correspondences and telling you, you know, what color was related to what stone and what, you know, and things like that, and what those stones meant or what those colors meant. And of course, that varied per coven. A different coven that was not Sumerian background would have a different different look at the colors.
Hey, Debbie Deb, and I want to read this because this is kind of interesting from YJ. There's a guy up the road here, and his son is 2.5 years old. The kid has been singing and speaking Viking-style songs and speaking old language fluently. It's really weird. I think this kid is reincarnated and remembering his past life. It's entirely possible.
There's been several scientific studies done.
I know that one kid who was reincarnated supposedly from WW2 and all that weird stuff. It was really heartbreaking. Yeah, it was really heartbreaking. When he had to say goodbye to his old self and stuff. I think that was more of the parents pushing than anything else, because if you think about it, what would that kid have remembered as he got older and older to actually be able to prove what was going on? Instead, it was like the parents were like, oh no, we're not having any of this. You're our kid. You're not that other guy, and you need to just shut up and be a little kid and forget about all that stuff, because that would, if being a parent, if I found out that my kid was originally somebody else, that would kind of hurt my feelings a little. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it, but thinking that he wasn't really my kid, he was actually somebody else's kid, and now he's coming back again. But you know what I mean? Through my, you know what I mean?
No, I'd feel privileged to have.
See, I
come back.
I would be, that would bum me out like crazy. It'd be like, oh crap! Everything that I've done, all the teaching and all the times that I've trying to imprint and impress upon him all these things, and it would feel like it was for nothing, because he already has a whole lifetime under his belt. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I know it's selfish, but it's like I was talking earlier. I couldn't do that thing because I couldn't leave my kid behind. I couldn't. There's just no way. It was, a decision we made to bring someone into this world, and it's kind of a huge, massive responsibility that never goes away. I don't care if, he's 65 and I'm 99. It's still, he's still my baby boy. I got stuff I got to do, and it doesn't ever end. And I could see his original parents, had he been reincarnated, kind of thing, up in heaven or whatever, thinking that, hey, that's still my boy. That ain't your boy. That's my boy. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think it's that possessive when we get old. And
right.
I know it changes. I know, in the afterlife, those things change and things become completely different. But I am still, a mortal, and fallible and things like that. So it's just a weird concept. But at the same time, I'm 95% convinced that kid, the Air Force pilot, that's what happened. He came back. I don't know how. Otherwise that's one hell of a hoax. How do you, the amount of hypnotizing and things like that you'd have to do to an unconscious, 4 or 5 year old little kid to get him to, be able to pull that kind of thing off as a hoax is just staggering. So, and the things that he knew, plus the fact that his parents are like, nope, we're not having none of that. Shut this down. You got to say goodbye to that guy. All point to it being something that's quite possibly very likely to be a real thing.
Yeah, it's
right.
Too unlikely to be untrue.
And there are one-lifers.
Yeah.
People who, this is the first time they've been in the circle.
And Nathan's gonna go, no, you're freaking, you're so wrong, Shadow. I'm like, hey man, I'm just that it's probably ego. or just fear of how much I must have screwed up to have to come back in this particular day and age, you know, or maybe
Yeah.
or maybe I did something really cool and I'm getting another chance to be even cooler. I'm going to go with that. Yeah, I was like
Yeah.
really cool. I was so cool the world couldn't live without me. As my ego just it fills the room. Yeah, I must have screwed up pretty bad.
Well, we know for sure you're not Elvis because he was here just recently. There you
I
go.
missed that. I missed
Uh,
that. Damn.
we, you know, he was here
Because
just recently. Elvis,
I'm
you're
definitely
not
not a I'm
Elvis.
not a Beatles guy. I'm not a Beatles guy. There's only one
No.
Beatle I really liked, and he's the only one who survived. So at least I backed the right horse. Um, but I'm definitely an Elvis guy.
So here we are at reincarnation. Alrighty then. That, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for?
Hey, Nathan,
Yes.
if they painted all old cars pink, what would we be?
Go ahead. You got me.
A pink reincarnation.
Meh, 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 meh.
That is such a dad joke. Okay, check this
Dad
So,
out. Check
joke.
this out. Check
so
this
much.
quantum. Check this quantum stuff out tonight. Right on my show. Uh, Fritz and James L. They were there. They'll attest to it. You know Omen, right? Okay, Omen's on the show, and a new guy who goes by Weird WW Weird WWW two Weird World War Two. That's his thing, for his channel, and they're on the show, and it turns out that Omen and this new guy are like what was it, like 15-minute drive away in Texas, so they're going to start being able to hang out and game, and they just met through the thing. I'm like, you lucky bastards. I haven't met a single gamer in 12 years living where I'm living. Okay. And these two schmucks, they first meet, boom. Oh, hey, you know what I mean? 15 minutes
Hmm.
away. Let's go have a beer and roll some dice.
That's awesome. I'm glad
I'm
they. I'm
jealous.
glad. Hey, I'm
But
glad that. I'm
I'm even,
happy for them.
exactly. I'm just throwing that in there because I'm a
I know.
goofball.
I'm happy
I
for
am
them.
so, me too, because I'll be in Texas eventually and I'll be giving Joe a hell of a hard time, just constantly pestering him on the phone, dude. Hey, can I come over? Something weird happened. He's going to be like, God damn. No,
Oh, you
I'm
go
not
to
home.
Joe's place. You go hang around Joe. You will definitely have weird happen.
I-
Happen
I'll
all.
send I'll send them over. I'll send them over to Lynn Ann.
Weirdness never ends. You
Hey,
go
as
to
long as
any
when I
of
get there,
us.
as long as when I get to Lynn Ann's place, she's got a hot chocolate chip cookie waiting for me and a bunch of weirdos in her parlor bending spoons. I'm there.
I
There is
don't
no
know
spoon.
about that. I don't know whether you want to be with John or not, but uh, Frank will be there. I can go there. That's only like an hour away.
Yeah, see, uh, distances take on a different tone when you're talking about Texas. Only an hour is really only an hour because the next place is like eight
Dude,
hours,
dude, you're
10 hours.
bumming me out, man. You're bumming me out, YJ. I barely want to do this now. Okay, telling me I've done it 1,000 times, and then what? I got to do it more? No, dude,
No,
no, no. I want to go to Valhalla and be done. Don't be telling me that crap, man. I was having a great weekend, and now Nathan's gonna come and smack me in the head with something.
I don't agree we're all old souls, but I hate to tell you this. You've been around a few times. This is not your first
Dude,
rodeo.
man, you sounded like all my middle school teachers. Kid, shut the fuck up. He's gonna be here again next year. No, I never had to
Sometimes we
repeat a
get to.
class. I never had to repeat a class, but there was a period like fourth grade, man. I did. I was about ready to just walk out. Fourth grade, I'm done. I know it all. I'm out of here. Of course I did, and I was a dumb little kid. But you get my point. I think families have multiple incarnations together, time and time again. Okay, now you're just really trying to piss me off because I got all kinds of family I didn't want to see this time. Now you're telling me I got to deal with them again next time. That's like hell, isn't it? See, even Fritz agrees with me. I'm sure he's agreeing with something else we said earlier, but I'm going to take it for he's agreeing with me now because I need some backup, man. You guys are killing me tonight. YJ, I wonder if we can ever break off a chunk of soul and make a brand new human being baby with zero independent soul history. Yeah, his name is Jack. It's his first time. Actually, I don't even buy that for a second. The kid's damn smart. He's like probably got like 15 lifetimes stuck in a gigantic melon of his. Ancestors are venerated, so play a big role. I think the Eddas are clear on this. Well, my ancestors were a bunch of shitheads, and no, some of them were. Some of them were absolutely awful human beings, but maybe they were lizard people. Maybe that's it. A question for everyone here: do you all do a Secret Santa miniature painting thing every year? You know what, YJ? I was trying to do that with a bunch of the shows I'm in, trying to do the Secret Santa thing, and every one of them was like, "No, oh maybe, but no. Yeah, that sounds cool, but no." I'm like, "You guys suck." You know, how cool is it to get something? I don't know about you guys, but every year, you know, for decades, I've known everything that's under the tree. You know what I mean? Whether it's because I sneaked and looked around the house, or because I just knew, you know what I mean? Or because I said this one thing, you know, what do you want for Christmas? Well, I'd like this or that, and then I know that that's probably going to be under the tree. So there's like no surprises anymore. And getting something from, you know, like a friend is like the only chance you get of getting a surprise during that time. Of course, it's okay. Oh, geez, I could do that. Welcome to the show. Sorry, I'm blonde and I do things like that. How you doing?
Hey, good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Whoa!
Can you hear me
Ouch.
okay?
Yeah, a little loud. You could squeak down the volume just a tad, maybe. It's like, oh man, I'm perfect. Accept me the way I am. I'm perfect, right, Raven?
Better?
Yes, thank you.
You are. Yes.
So how you doing?
Okay. I'm hearing a little bit. There's a little bit of
Of
a
echo?
delay. I'm trying to figure out what did I do. Um,
You got the
yeah,
echo
and I'm hearing
on?
it. I'm hearing
Raven.
Turn it
myself.
off. Turn it off. And if you've got Facebook on, turn it off.
No, I've turned off everything. All I have open is StreamYard.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just turn
I
off
can
the
hear
echo.
myself
I am
like
taking care
2 words
of the
behind.
audio right now. Okay, got it. We should be better now. Yeah.
How you doing, Raven?
Welcome back
Where
to
you
the show,
going?
Raven. Thank you for coming on the Quantum Show.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that worked. That worked.
Good deal.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Good. Good. So you were talking about reincarnation. Well, actually, I
Yeah,
heard
we are.
Valhalla.
Yeah, we're bouncing around all over the place.
Now I can't hear
Yeah.
you at all. Okay. Nathan, if you can hear me, I can't hear you guys.
I haven't said anything until right now. Can you hear me now?
What do I need to do here? What do I need to do?
I am looking at your. Well, are you using headphones?
Let me see here. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Okay, I got it. It's over here. Let me check here. Hold on. What's up? Here.
Yeah, YJ. I love when Raven
Okay,
comes.
somehow this is turned down. Say something.
I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, barely. I'm going to try putting these back in here. Okay. Now, okay.
Okay, I'm talking. Can you hear me?
Now I think I can hear you. Okay. Yeah, now I can
Okay,
hear
good
you.
deal.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right.
Awesome.
There. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, you got a much bigger cup than I do. I wish I had a big cup. I'm gonna make a big cup.
This is my
It's gonna be quantum cup.
my witch brew. Mm-hmm.
Sorry to hear that,
YJ.
YJ.
Yeah.
I never win. Oh wait, Fritz, what? I was voted best GM. Objectively chosen by Chow. Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were, buddy. We do a little award show for the gamers in our community, and he's you know, shining up his crown that he won this year. So
So what game do you play? Are you Dungeons and Dragons, or I don't know anything about?
yeah, all of them, all of them, all of them. You name it, yeah, all of them.
So what's your favorite?
Probably
You
Traveler.
play that one that. Not familiar with that one. There was one that a friend of mine used to play where he had.
Go ahead.
He had a wife and he had a whole family online through this game, and then they would fight these monsters, and you would get points or something like that, and then you could buy stuff for your house, and he had like a whole another family going on.
It's not really a video game, or an online game. It's more of a like in-person kind of thing. I'll have to show you I'll send you a video to get an idea. But that's what I do is a bunch of dorky, nerdy, tabletop role play. They're role playing games where you basically pretend to be somebody else for a couple hours and get out of your own skin for a while.
Well, that sounds fun. That sounds like therapy.
It's a lot of fun, and it is very
It's
helpful.
therapeutic. I actually did a video on it a while back. It's therapeutic, not therapy. If you need therapy, I'm not your bartender. But yeah, there's some,
Did you ever
Go
get
ahead.
any crystals?
No, I didn't. I had to do some other stuff, but I did send you a response to that one thing, that video, because Nathan wants to see it too. The one about hopping realities.
Now
So
I'm
send-
thinking about it.
Yeah, I think I
have
sent it
got
to
the
you.
link. I've got the link. I need to watch
Okay.
it. It's been crazy. Do
Okay.
this, do that, do this, do that.
Right. Well, that one website was awfully pricey, and crystals are something I've been into long before they became popular. I mean, I was like 7 years old and was a member of the Peru Rocks and Burials Club. I used to show them. I used to do nothing but rock hunt. I would rather do that than play with dolls or anything. I was a very strange child to them. And my mother's house,
Yeah.
her basement is just full of boxes of this stuff. But would recommend starting out with a quartz, just a clear quartz.
Raven,
And
yeah,
if you can,
you do know what leverite is, don't you?
leverite.
Right.
I have not heard of leverite.
You haven't? As a little kid,
No.
I would ask my father, "What is this rock?" And he says, "Lever right there."
Wow, we walked into that one.
God, yeah.
It's funny. It's funny you mention that, because my boy and I, he's the only kid who rode to school from kindergarten to ninth grade. He's still riding to school on his bike, but we would ride our bikes every day going through the desert on his way to school. We would end up walking back with a bunch of pockets full of really cool rocks and quartz and things like that, and it's a fun hobby.
Yeah.
You never know what you're gonna find, and he was really lucky because every other kid, from first to eighth grade, in the car, phone in hand, not seeing squirrels, not seeing rabbits or lizards or snakes or coyotes like we were, because we would just ride our bikes to school through the desert. Hold on a second, folks.
Not.
Mhm.
Yeah, He's having a hard time finding crystals, and I've got them coming out the wazoo. I've got
Me
just a
too.
bag of quartz.
Yeah, I can walk
I
down the
love
street and
these.
find crystals.
Yeah, I could.
Nice.
Me too. I could go in the driveway and just find
Me too.
something. They talk to me. I mean, they attract me. I'm like, oh, there's something that's meant for me. And
Hmm.
I like to think these were meant for me because I don't know. I didn't order these specifically. Let me get right. These
Nice.
are raw,
Yeah.
dug up. These are the leftovers, and people
That's nice.
just yeah. This is big old bag of quartz, dude. If I know where to send them, one of these will be yours, or two, or three. Let me know.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll get you the address.
Okay, they might not be your target, what you think you should get, but
No, I
these
don't
are
look at it like
quartz.
that at all. Everything happens for a reason, buddy. Everything. Speaking of reasons, I got to go pick up my son. But I'm gonna jump. Holy smokes!
Wow.
This is my favorite one. It's black quartz.
One that's like 50.
Yeah. Like
There
yeah.
are caves you can drive into
Yeah.
that are all quartz.
Yeah. This is my baby. It's my favorite.
Okay, I could have sworn. Okay, I gotta go pick up my boy. He just sent me a message, but I'm gonna be on. Here, let me do that right now, and you'll know with me.
Yeah, I got this thing.
Roger that, man. You do what you got to do. Understood.
It's Shadow 47.
Okay.
That's me, and I'll be in the chat, listening the whole time. But I'll be right back in about a half hour, maybe a little longer. You know,
Whatever happens, yeah.
yeah. Just
We'll be here.
I'm there, but I'm not. I'm actually gonna leave the studio, so if maybe it'll help, make the stream faster and stuff, and then I'll bog you guys down when I get back.
Okay.
Bye, guys. I'll
See
be
you in a
back
bit.
shortly. All right.
Alrighty then.
Over here. There we go. Okay.
Do you need to see? Okay, he's gone. All right. Well, he's still listening, so y'all better behave yourselves.
Oh, man.
Anyway, Raven, thank you for coming back to the Quantum Show. It's great to have you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me. I
Hey.
love this. This gives me something to look forward to on Saturday nights. It's great.
Me
Love it.
too.
Love it.
Yeah, and we went from cryptids, which was a go nowhere topic for me anyway, to reincarnation, to crystals, and here we are. I got notification that that book is on its way to me now.
Oh, good. Good. You will like that book. That's like that's the only crystal book really that you'll ever need.
Yeah,
Especially if you
it's
want to be programming them and doing magic with them, or
I actually like Pat Lee's crystals books, and also her books on the trees.
I need to go
Magic
back
in
and
the
get some
Stones.
more. I need more.
I don't think you can get any more of hers because she had an argument with Llewellyn, and they decided that they were no longer going to publish her books because she was going, why are we sitting here on the basic levels of magic? Let's get in depth. And they did not like that. They wanted to stay at the Buckland level.
right.
Mm.
What's her last name again?
Patalee Glass Canotop.
Can you spell that?
Right.
I'll have to look it up, be honest with you.
I will Google
Okay.
her right now, and I will put a link in the chat and in the show afterwards.
The book that Nathan and I were talking about, in fact, I got it right here, is this right here. And this is by Henry Mason. I don't know if you can you see that? Here.
Okay.
On this right here.
Patalee Glass Canotop, 1943 to 2002. Okay. I can send there.
This book has the science and the woo married together absolutely beautifully. And it talks about the different atomic structures in 7 different, they classify crystals in 1 of 7. And they tell you what crystals belong, to each group, and then how to program them, how to use them as talismans, and what they're good for, like attractors or protection, barrier crystals. And it's all based on
Pat did much the same thing. Did the same thing,
Wow.
but she also included chapters on ethics on each one of her books.
Cool.
Okay,
Okay.
how do I paste in here?
I got nothing.
There it is. I got it.
Okay.
Let me put it in there. I can put it in the private chat here.
Okay. Let me get to the private chat. I think I see it come up. Yep. Her memorial.
Yep.
Okay, that's the name.
And-
I got you.
Right.
You can put it in the public chat.
I don't have the public chat up.
Oh, okay. I will go ahead and do that.
She was one of my teachers.
Okay. I'll check it out. I'll look for her books. There's a great little secondhand place that I love going to here locally, and they amazingly get all kinds of.
Yeah. I just checked Amazon, and her Year of the Moon, Season of the Trees, they want $89 for it.
Yeah, that's one of those.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
Okay.
The Magic of the Stones, they don't even list a price on it. Oh, wait one second. Yeah, I found one. Paperback, $5.99. That's a good deal.
Oh, great. Cool.
Snag it.
YJ says he's putting on his citrine pendant. Cool. Those are good for attracting money. Put a citrine in your pocket. You got one? Mm-hmm.
I keep one on all the time.
Now, you guys heard of shungite? Shungite is supposed to be really good to put a barrier between you and all of the Wi-Fi signals and the radiation and all that kind of stuff from your smart meters and your cell phone and all that sort of stuff. Shungite, it's really, it just comes from Russia. And
they're going to need it.
Well, it's to protect your energy system from all the, pollution, invisible pollution that we have. And there's these little discs that you can buy. I think they're like $8 a piece. That you put them on the back of your cell phone, and it's supposed to block all that harmful EMFs or whatever you call them.
Yeah. Radiation.
This can't be good. I mean, we've got smart meters, we got smart TVs, smart phones, all my electronics are hopelessly stupid, but none of them are smart whatsoever. But then you've got your Wi-Fi and now 5G towers and all this crazy stuff. There's a really cool website you can go to. I'll put it here in the chat room where you can find out within a 4-mile radius how many towers and how many antennas you've got in your area. And mine, I had.
Does that include my yard?
Yeah, with your yard. You got a lot in your yard?
My yard is nothing but antennas practically.
I dropped my pen. Okay, and it's here. See if I can type. Okay, how come I don't see a place for me to type? I see the chat room, but I don't.
Down at the bottom.
I'm
down at the bottom.
It's not
There's
there.
a little.
Hold up.
Rectangle.
You must have come in the wrong way. Do you see sign in?
At the top, it says sign up or log in.
Yeah, you came in the wrong way. I don't know. Did you use the link I sent you in Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, we use that link, and all we get is the private chat with a little tiny square down the bottom. It says chat with everybody down at the bottom. But you, if I click on the regular comments, I can see everybody else, but I can't make a comment there. I have to click on private chat, and then I can see a place to put something
That's
there.
I don't understand
Mm.
why it's like that. Okay, I'm going to go
Okay.
ahead
Well,
and do
it's
that.
antennasearch.org, I believe. If .com doesn't work, it's .org.
Oh,
And I'm
GM's Alcove
if I
has a
click
good
off of
question.
this.
He's yanking us right back on topic.
Oh,
Let
good.
me go ahead and
Okay.
post the thing up. How far back in history do you find the use of crystals? All of history has use of crystals in it.
Oh yeah,
Every
you look at the
bit of it.
Egyptians; they've got it.
All of history has crystals being used in it. Okay.
Mm.
As far as
You-
recorded history, again, all of it has crystals in it.
Yeah,
Every bit.
you know they find prehistoric man
Yeah.
with crystals and shells.
Yeah, we're talking. He's specifying
Mhm.
how about regarding recorded history, all of it, every bit of it. Let's go back. What do we got recorded history of that we have access
The
to?
Egyptians.
Right?
Sumeria. Sumerians would be older than the Egyptians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of it.
That's we got what 6,000. We got it to 6,000 BC, but I mean it was recorded. But it
Actually,
goes on,
you look at the Sumerian line of kings, and it goes much further back than that.
yeah, it does. But he's talking about recorded history. What we've got. I mean, that is recorded, but I mean we don't have any other than the
Accepted by
Sumerian kings list. We
mainstream,
don't
I
have
think
any
he
other
means.
writings.
Right,
Yeah,
accepted by
You know what I mean?
mainstream. So yeah,
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
it, literally all of it.
Yeah.
It goes further back than brooms. Okay, I'm talking brooms to sweep the floor. It goes further back than brooms and like hand tools and shit like that.
Yeah.
not further back than beer for some reason.
No. But yeah, crystal use has been all through it. All through it. I bet if we look in American history, we'll find crystals tucked away in little gems. See what I did there? Little gems of history.
Mhm.
And you'll
Yes.
find all kinds of references and uses and who's wearing what to crystals.
Yeah.
So yeah, YJ, that is a very well known. Thanks, Hollywood, for doing that one. Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. There is a lot to do with the. I still want to see. I want to go and look at the Mitchell Hedges skull. I want to see what's up with it because they covered it in so many different things. TVs and movies. Stargate SG-1 did the Crystal Skull, and that was as mainstream as you can get, and sticking to scientific facts about it.
Mhm.
How we did not have the ability to make it. No one, as far as
Yeah.
accepted history goes.
Because it was
Accepted
one
history.
solid piece, even though the jaw is separate. And
Yeah.
it was Hewlett and Packard is the one that did all the testing on that thing.
Yeah, funny little story about the Hewlett Packard. It has, I think they had it in water, or they had it in a substance in a clear, like a fish tank, right? The place got raided while the skull was there. They couldn't find it because it had the same light refraction as the fluid around it, so it looked like an empty tank.
Yeah.
Luck of the draw. It
It
was
knew.
lucky that
It knew.
they left it in there and they said, "Oh well, it'll be fine there. It's just a big rock, right?" Yeah.
Mhm.
Place got raided, and they took everything except the skull because they couldn't see it.
That is amazing, and that's not
So
an
cool.
accident. That is not an accident. Well, see that the skull actually has consciousness, And what I'm trying to remember where I saw this or heard this. There was a I don't know if it was somebody under hypnosis, perhaps, witnessed the ceremony that was with the skull. Once the skull was done, and there was a shaman, and this was in the Mayan culture, and they did this ritual and took his consciousness and put it in the crystal skull.
I remember hearing about this. I read about it.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay, I can't remember exactly who, how, what. It's just there on the periphery. Um, and then the shaman, of course, is able to connect to the akashic or the collective unconscious, that whole field,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how it's able to answer questions and answer stuff from prehistory, and go into the future and talk about stuff because it's all connected to that thing. But
Mm-hmm.
that's actually a human soul. That's, I presume it's human. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's Anunnaki. I don't know. It's inside that skull, and there's supposed to be, what, 13 of them? Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
They've
13 crystal
they've
skulls.
counted a lot more.
Yeah,
There's
some of them are modern. Some of them
Right.
are modern after they found a few of them. But some of them are, like, you can go to a gift shop. You can order them on
Remember
Amazon.
Lloyd Pye? You remember
Yeah.
Lloyd Pye was part of that.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
In fact, he
had
wrote his book, Everything You Know Is Wrong. And then immediately afterwards, he was given a crystal skull to research.
And then there's
Right.
another one that's called Einstein that's currently in Sedona. There's a psychic that has possession of that one. And I can't remember where that one came from, but they call it Einstein. And they featured it on a Ancient Alien episode.
I missed that episode. I need to go watch it.
And it's neat, the photography that I think it's called Curlian photography, where they can,
Curlian.
yeah, they did that after asking it a question, and you see all this, what looks almost like lightning bolt type things coming down around it, or going out from it, or coming into it, or one of the two ways. You can't really tell, but I mean, and like these color bursts all around it, and then different times there'll be different colors. It's really trippy, neat stuff. Who would have thought? I mean, I don't know, but I mean, what that must be like to leave your body and have your consciousness be inside a rock, basically, but a crystal skull, and then have people carrying you around and putting you in a box and putting you up on the shelf. I mean, you have no control over your environment and where you're at. I don't think I would like that very much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now,
It seems to me like the crystal skull, the real ones, not the ones on Amazon I'm looking at right now, are kind of like an interface from one to the other.
yeah, and the one that Lloyd Pye found was later called the Star Child skull.
Uh-huh.
Now there's two different
because
ones.
because Lloyd Pye's one was not a human skull, even though it did resemble a human skull.
Yeah, that Star Child, they've done the DNA test on it, and its mother was human, and actually was found with a female skeleton. But the father, there's no DNA they can come up with. There's just nothing. You have to have something already in the program, for it to then identify, and there just isn't. So so it's half human and half we don't know what, and it has a very misshapen
Yeah.
skull.
Yeah,
and
talk about a known reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lloyd came by the bookstore quite often whenever he was in town.
Yeah, I missed him.
Oh, good. You got to meet him?
Yes.
Cool. Did you get to see the skull?
No, I didn't get to see the skull. He wasn't carrying it at the time.
Yeah, just so anybody in the chat has any kind of reservations about who we have here. We are all heavy hitters in our own way. Don't think this is just a fun little thing a bunch of nuts do for the weekend. We're all heavy hitters in here. We have had all of our experiences. I just wanted to put that out there so you know
Yeah,
what kind of room you're in.
the bookstore drew quite a few authors in that into it, and because we were pagan friendly, uh, they almost all stopped by.
Yep.
Mm.
And
Oh,
El
here,
Paso is just
YJ
one of
says
those
the
places.
lady who owned Einstein, the skull, sells other crystal skulls that she puts with Einstein for imprinting. Yes, yes. Uh, Jimmy Church of Fade to Black Radio has several skulls and advertises on his radio show that you can buy a crystal skull that's sat with Einstein
Hmm.
and shared, you know, knowledge,
Vibes.
frequency, vibes. Yes, vibes. That's a good way of putting it.
All about them vibes.
Vibes and frequency.
Hmm.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, El
I,
Paso is
I
a hell of a. Go
well,
ahead.
go ahead.
Now, El Paso is a hell of a place because, first, the whole place is soaked in blood. Okay.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was spoils of war for a little
True.
while, and a cat.
Yes. He's trying still to show you. Anyway, yeah.
And there are just it's a great place. It's almost like uh, New Mexico, but it's got its own thing going on because
Mhm.
El Paso has Trans Mountain Road. All of it's haunted, right? And you got right down by my old place. There is a old trading post from the Wild West because that was the border.
Oh,
It was like
yeah.
15, 12 miles inland. And funny story. Okay, El Paso being freaking crazy all the time. I've been looking at this place for years. It is a river stone built structure. Okay, it looks
Oh,
like it
wow.
has a turret on top, and I'm like, that is crazy. What is that
Yeah, that's
for?
the Wells Fargo's building,
No, no,
the
no.
stage
This is
house. The stage house. It's right there on near Edgar Park.
not the
Yeah.
place I'm talking
Mm.
about. That is another place. I'm talking about on near. It's near the corner of uh, Dyer and whatever that street was that I lived off of. Right. There's a 7-Eleven there, and across the street you go half a block. You go just a little ways down. There's a left
Right,
turn off of Dyer.
Edgar Park. It's right there.
I'm gonna Google it.
It's
Google Earth, save me.
it's also called the Well House building.
Well, it was a church when I went there.
Oh yeah, it's been a lot of things.
What is that name? What is the name of that street?
I believe it was Edgar Park. It was right
Mm-mm.
behind the bookstore at one time.
No, it was way. It
No,
was
no, no,
not
no,
there.
no, no. Yeah, you weren't part of the bookstore when it was that down at the Edgar Park.
Okay.
Well, anyway, you say there's a building that's made of
Yeah.
riverstone and it has a turret.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It.
that's
Uh huh.
that's where the water tower was at.
There was a
Cool.
water tower. Yes, I remember that. Okay. Anyway, I go in there, and I've been wanting to go there for a long time, and I finally went in there when I saw someone was there, and I go in and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she gave me the pamphlet for the church, and I said, "Hey, have y'all ever?" And I did the ghost hunt thing. So, have y'all ever noticed anything like noises or anything like that, or had any see anything out of the corner of your eye? She goes, "Oh," she said it just like this. "Oh, well, some people have said some things, but we know it's Jesus." And I'm like, haunted. This place is haunted. That's what it is. It's haunted.
It's
But it's
Jesus.
Jesus. We know it's Jesus. I'm like, she said that exactly like that.
So El Paso uh, was it was a active area during the Spanish Mexican War.
Even before then,
Yeah.
the conquistadors came through El Paso. That's why it's named El Paso.
Oh, okay. What does El Paso mean?
The pass.
The
It was
pass.
Yeah.
the only way to.
The way. It means this is the way. It's the pass.
Okay, okay. I took French. I didn't know Spanish.
Yeah, because if you went towards New Mexico, you would have had to go through the Badlands.
Okay.
And I mean, you're looking at one mesquite bush every mile.
Oh, I've written that. I know. Oh my God. On Christmas of all times. Yes, going from Phoenix, Phoenix, Arizona to Orlando, Florida, and drove in this moving van that was like this the whole entire time. And Texas was the worst, I think, of the whole drive. It just was nothing but desert and nothing but mesquite bushes, like you say, and a few interesting rock outcroppings. But other than that, it was just so monotonous. I think we took Highway 10 or something like. I think it was Interstate 10 or something like that. It was
I-10.
yeah,
Yep.
I-10.
Oh, you're right, Nathan. It's not Wells Fargo. It was Overland.
Yeah.
Wrong
I'm trying to
stagecoach.
bring it up right now. Yeah. This is. I was like, that is not where I'm talking about.
That is. It's right where you're talking about.
No, I mean, not Wells Fargo.
Right. It's
Not Edgar
Overland.
Park. Well, I found Whataburger. I found Chico's Tacos. Those are both places right next to it, right?
No, Chico's Tacos is way down the other end.
Then we're talking about a different place.
No, up near your end, up near Sunrise.
Yes, Sunrise.
It reminds
And
me
there
of
was a
fish
place
tacos.
right
I
up
had
there.
never heard of fish tacos until we got to Phoenix, Arizona. And I think of all places, you don't think of Phoenix, Arizona as having seafood, but there were fish tacos. Everybody had fish tacos. I had never even heard of fish tacos before. How gross! But yeah. This cat is biting the hell out of me. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Where is? I am not seeing anything that I remember. Oh my God, what is going on with this? Anyway, over by where I used to live, there is that place, and you could see it from Chico's. That's how I saw it. I saw it from Chico's. Wait a
They can
minute,
see it from
not-
Whataburger
not
real easy.
Chico's
They-
Tacos. I'm on the wrong end of Dyer. Dang it! It's been a long time.
Yeah, go down towards Sunrise. It's across the street, like find Moonlight and those streets.
Yeah, well, I'm looking for it right now, and I keep getting lost on this stupid Google Map that's lagging the hell out of me.
I'm trying to remember the school that's nearby. There's a school nearby too. It's off of Dyer, but it's one of the schools I taught at.
Mm-hmm. Okay, not McKinley.
No, you're way south.
Yeah, I need to go north.
Right.
And I need to find frickin' Dyer Copia. I need to find Dyer Street again. Oh my God. I can find
What are you doing in
Patriot-
Copia? That's way, way, way south.
Yeah, I'm looking for. Okay, there's Fred Wilson, which is
I went
too far.
I went too far. I hit Moonlight. I'm too far north.
Do
We're
they have
all
any
lagging
Sasquatch?
here on the Quantum Show.
Do they have any Sasquatch sightings in El Paso?
There was a recent one that caused one of the newspapers to write an article, but they quoted somebody from 2 years ago, but it was a recent sighting that caused them to get back into it.
Yeah, it's in the show description of the first hour.
Okay.
I have had this on there before. Dang it.
And it's in between the freeway and Dyer.
Yes. Trying to find Dyer. Fucking thing. Whatever. I don't care. It's there. That place.
Yeah, I used to turn on Edgar Park because of that shopping center that was there to get to
Mm-hmm.
my store, and I would pass that thing every day
Mm-hmm.
just before I got to my store, which was on the freeway side from Dyer, the
Right.
access road. There's
Yeah, it
Tetons.
was. There was
Okay.
there's a car shop like right next to it or very close to it, and made it very easy to get to.
Well, the car shop is gone, and there's the Edgar Park Veterinarian Clinic.
Oh,
There's
that's
Edgar Park. I
better.
found Edgar Park. Let me see, what do they call it here?
My obsessive side wants to keep looking for it, but I just no. I couldn't find it. My connection's lagging. It's fine. It's
Yeah, and you
fine.
remember the car
Okay.
wash that was on the corner behind it?
Yeah,
That's gone.
man. I bet I wouldn't even recognize the neighborhood. Okay, yeah. The let me see here. The Horizon City Monster, and
Yeah,
the thing started 20 years ago.
yeah, the thing started back in '75,
Oh, okay, 40 something years ago.
and then I found the Edgar Park Veterinarian Clinic, but there's nothing. And they got a shadow which shows the tower, but there's nothing written there.
Mm.
I'll send you the link, but
Oh, this is cool. Diane in the chat says that there are Bigfoot where she lives in Forks, Washington, and in May they will be having a Bigfoot Day. Cool.
I might have to
Hi,
take a.
Diane. Thanks for stopping in. Diane comes from where uh, Amy and Rich and I think Third Phase. I'm sure I don't remember, but
Isn't that where like
and Facebook.
Twilight was supposed to have been? The whole series Twilight was Forks, Washington. I think it is
I,
where the movie was shot. Most here, these cats are just ridiculous. Come here, come here. Tail right up in my
Well,
face.
anyhow,
Um,
Nathan, you don't have to worry about that thing disappearing because it's a historical site, and
I
I've
knew
got
it
it.
was historical. It
yeah.
would have been gone by the time I was there.
Yeah,
If it wasn't historical.
it's Edgar Park Street. I found it,
Okay.
and it's off the street itself. It's got a good parking lot in front.
hmm Okay,
But
I'm
if you
looking.
look if you look up Edgar Park Veterinarian Clinic, it's to the east of the veterinarian clinic.
I was going OCD on Google Maps, so I'm going to take your word for it.
Okay, I got
Okay.
it. Let me see if I can click. Yeah, you can barely make the tower out from the above picture, but I'll take a.
um,
Let's see.
Send it over. Send a link. Or, yeah, send a link.
I don't know whether you can get it from the link or not. I'll be glad to send it over. But
Yeah, it's one of those Google things.
yeah, it is on Edgar Park though.
Okay. And
Okay,
yes,
we're
Forks is home of the Twilight and I'm going to
and
say
Bigfoot.
one of the Bigfoot.
Mhm.
One of many, because I got one right down the road from here.
Yeah, that the first video footage I think was from Washington. Is that what you're talking about, Diane? The original. Oh gosh, I can't think of the two names of the two guys. They were on horseback and um, they
Oh,
filmed a female
commercial. They
Bigfoot.
were doing a commercial. You're right. The
Uh,
uh,
God, I can't.
right.
The name's right there on the tip of my tongue. Oh, damn it! I keep wanting to say Benson and Hedges, and that's a
I wanted to
rhinoceros.
say the same thing.
And then I'm thinking of the skull.
okay. Google
I
Maps.
can't think of the name. Anyway, he's deceased now, and his wife
Edgar.
has that original footage still. And there was
Right.
there was a show recently that was on where some investigators are trying to reopen that case and prove that that is actual footage, not tampered with, and that it's real. And I'm like,
Patterson Gimlin.
yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you. That was going to drive me nuts. Until, oh, yes,
Thank
Patterson.
Google.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. But that is a, there's just no way that could have been fake. That's a female. And he later said in an interview that when he thought about it after the fact, she probably let herself be seen and videotaped and was trying to lure them away because she had little ones hiding in the bush over here.
Mm-hmm. I remember hearing that.
And if somebody's going to make a fake suit, let's say, they're not going to make a female. You know, they're not going to make one with breasts. You know, why complicate? If you're going to fake something like that, you're going to try to go as simple as possible, right? So I think that is another consideration, that this is actual footage. Yeah, that it's the real thing.
And it was, from what I understand, from what I remember hearing about it, I've listened to this on the discussion of this sighting on so many shows, including Dave's Spaced Out Radio. Shout out to Spaced Out Radio.
Yes.
And it would be so. They weren't even there to do that. They were filming some kind of local commercial, weren't they?
Yeah.
And they just happened to see something, and he turned the camera over to it in the 60s.
Okay, I got you an address on this. 444 Edgar Park, El Paso, Texas 799.
444.
4444. Four fours. And it's Youth with a Mission.
Edgar Park, no
Right.
Avenue, Street, nothing.
Avenue.
Yep, that place is totally haunted.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't, these places that have people in them, they won't let me investigate. Dang it. Yeah, the 4-4s. That should be a dead giveaway right there.
Mm-hmm. That's 444s are an archangel number.
And yeah,
and they rent it for $1 a year, as long as they keep it,
keep it up.
Keep it up.
Yeah, that's Texas. That's church. Definitely.
Oh, Diane says that she knows people that have seen a family of Bigfoot out there. Cool. And so in May will be the second year of Bigfoot Days, and we'll have guest speakers. Cool. I get frustrated with these people that keep saying that they're some kind of ape and that they're not intelligent, and it's like,
yeah.
Who says an ape isn't intelligent?
Well, the Bigfoot, I call him Sasquatch. It's kind of hard to say Bigfoot plural. Anyway, there's a guy that is from Ontario, Canada, and I believe his YouTube channel is Bigfoot Ontario or Sasquatch Ontario. He has befriended a pod of these Sasquatch, and he has recordings of them. He's even been teaching them some English words, and you can hear them greet him. His name's Mike. Sasquatch Ontario. If I open up a new window, am I going to lose you guys here?
It might lag a little bit. You won't lose us.
Okay. But anyway, they're extremely intelligent, and they're telepathic, and these people that are lucky enough to get footage of them and pictures, it's only because they will allow themselves to be seen. They know that there's somebody there as they're getting out of the car, long before they even enter the woods.
Mm-hmm.
But they're super smart. they look at us like a little brother, and once they don't mind, making contact with us as long as we're not going to shoot them or jail them or captivate them in a zoo somewhere.
Or leave your pies on the windowsill.
Where does that come from? Did somebody actually
That
have
that
pie stolen?
that yeah, that comes from Ruidosa, New Mexico.
Okay.
It's a forested area.
Well, they like little
It's,
treats and they love fruit being left for them. There's some people that go out there and they'll trade. They'll have little gift
Yep.
exchanges and so forth. Yeah.
yeah.
There was a guy I just heard recently where he had a gifting rock. He called it a gifting because it was a rock that was in the ground, and he was gifting back and forth. That
Mm-hmm.
he would leave food like fruit and stuff, and the whatever would leave whatever, right? Would leave chains of daisies, twine sticks, things that you would have to work on that are not naturally found in nature, right?
Right.
Not heavily, not polished stones or rock tumbler stuff, but like very basic arts and craft type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one time he left him some fruit and he brought him back an old, rusty, like a small bear trap, right? It
Oh
was out
wow.
of commission. He brought like, and I took it as here's some garbage I found. Get this out of my yard, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, and it had a raccoon skull or something in it, and it was still holding on to its the victim, right? A piece of the victim with a piece of skull in it. Well, here's what this genius did, right? Now I
Ooh,
looked at this like here's
that's
something I
morbid.
found. This is yours. Get this the hell out of my yard. This is human shit. Get this out of my
Mm-hmm.
yard. You know what he did? He cleaned it up, got it serviceable again, and left it set on the trap or left it set on the gifting spot. And yeah,
What the hell?
he came back a few days later or the next day or something, right? And the place was wrecked. The place had been just wrecked. Trees were down, uprooted, thrown around, scratches all over, like something, and the trap was gone. So, what's the point of leaving a set trap to catch
That's just
something, right?
what an
That's
idiot.
obvious. You don't, you, yeah, I was like, why would you do that? He was like, get this shit out of my yard, and you give it back to him, and it gets him. What were you thinking? Anyway, I stopped following
Obviously
that
wasn't.
guy because he's an idiot,
Well, yeah.
and his encounters pretty much didn't go as planned after that because he
Yeah.
was going around looking, and he constantly before that it was a very curious feeling, and then after that he started getting scared of shit, and I'm like, I wonder why,
I
dude.
wonder
You
why.
just
Yeah.
gave yeah, you just set him up a
What an
booby
idiot.
trap. Okay, well, anyway, that.
And you wonder, and that right there is a perfect example of why they are not ready to make contact with us
Yeah.
as a
Word.
as a whole. They have
Okay, I'm gonna uh also I would like to shout out to Long Island Bigfoot and toss his link in the chat.
Yogi Bear. Yogi Bear loves this stuff. That's funny. I gotta find my glasses. Where are my glasses at? Here. Cat, are you going to here we go. I can read this here. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Long Island Bigfoot. I try to attend his Sunday shows. I don't really get a chance to. Hey, Chad Smith, thanks for coming by. I saw you come in, but I was in the middle of that tirade.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about that dude with the bear trap. And it wasn't a bear trap. It was like a coyote trap or something. But it was about yay big. Not a bear trap, but like yay big. And he cleaned it up and set it. And I'm like, what are you actually thinking about?
Why Jay says, what a moron. No kidding. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Definitely.
can't read a room. And I stopped following. He was on TikTok, so you can just imagine the kind of content that I was trying to look at. It was like less than a minute long, and well, we've been going over this for 20 minutes now. About, I don't even know, and we barely scratched the surface. Anyway, that's that guy. Right, YJ is saying, leave stuff like that. Crystals, art, wood carving, stuff like that. Yeah, things to understand, things that are not harmful. Oh, and what he also did was he took a teddy bear and he put one of those. He screwed up this way, right? He put a GPS locator in it, but it was Bluetooth. It wasn't real Wi-Fi. It was like a limited range one, and it was gone. And as far as I know, it stayed gone. That's when I stopped watching. And that trap. And he took the bear. The bear was gone. And no camera ever survives. They all get messed with or just gone. And he said he's tried all these different ones. I'm like, your method is not working, right? And that's what a problem with Bigfoot research I have. The methods aren't working. Try a different method, right? Don't stop with the it's an animal. Go out there with a Native American, right? Go out there with a psychic or an empath. Don't go out there with like heat vision and bait and things like that. Go out there.
Yeah, because they're smarter than that.
Yeah,
they know when you leave a trail cam. They know when you've got a tracking device or a homing device in it. They know that.
Yeah,
they're not dumb animals.
Yeah, it seems very much like they can sense magnetic fields a lot better than we can. So any electronic thing is going to be a big red flag for them. And they're going to be able to disable it, take it, or just get rid of it. And try different methods.
They're masters of frequency. They know how to raise and lower their vibration at will. That's why you can see
that's what it's
footprints that just stop in the snow, and there's like no more footprints, and they're just vanished. They raise and lower their frequency at will. So
Shingoji, Shingoji had one, has them all the time appear in his yard, but especially in the snow, they're easy to see. He had one. It was about this big, so a juvenile, right? Not this big, but like this big, and there was nothing leading up to it, nothing leading away, a single print, and it was nothing else. And it seems that observables is, you're right. They jump away somehow, and it's like they don't jump like leaping over a rock or something, but they're not here anymore. And they're not flying away, because I ain't never heard of a winged Bigfoot, right? And he found a certain branch on a tree broken where nothing was touching it, nothing walked past it. It was not, and it was not near anything where anyone would walk past it, and there were no tracks or no crushed leaves, broken branches, other than the one on the tree, and it was just broke. It's still there, like a symbol, or like, hey, I know you're looking, here you go, kind of. That's how he interpreted it, and that makes sense to me.
A lot of times they're still there. We just can't see them. Yeah, like when you think about the rainbow, you go into the ultraviolet, we can see the purple, but then beyond that, there are other colors. There's all kinds of other frequencies, and they just raise their vibration up to where we can't see them.
Right.
They also know how to jump the portals and do all that kind of stuff too, also. But
yeah, that's a whole nother bit of it right there.
Yeah.
Frequency and what we can perceive and what they can perceive. And what we can perceive, this has been on every show.
Limited.
Yeah, this has been on every paranormal show. We can only see this much.
Yeah.
of everything, and
Yeah.
everyone here knows this, right?
Yeah.
Um, I'm starting to spiral. Just go woo, 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 goes everywhere. You know me.
So the Sasquatch hunter, did you get to watch that video I sent you of the portal? The guy that's captured a portal opening. It's crazy.
I for some reason I can't. I haven't looked at it yet. I
Oh,
went to go look at it. I haven't, and I need to go look, and I need to
it's cool.
study it.
He was looking for Sasquatch. He's a Sasquatch hunter or whatever, and so he said he gets so frustrated because he can always hear him behind him, and he never can get him on camera. So he takes his camera and he just mounts it facing back the other way, mounts it on his shoulder, and he's in the Smoky Mountains and he's on a public trail, and as he's walking along, there's a portal that opens up behind him, and you can see it. It's kind of like an old sci-fi movie, like back before technology got really good. You know how they had that like warm looking, kind of just
Yeah.
hazy, but you can definitely see the circle, and there's a being inside that. And so then when he zoomed in after he got this home and stuff and put it in his computer, it's not a Sasquatch though. It's got a conical head, but it's not all furry. It looks very much like those the skulls that they found down in Peru and South America, the elongated skulls. It looks like
Right.
that, like a being with the eyes and stuff. It's kind of like crouched down and then it stands up, and it is just wicked. Oh, but you see this kind of like something going on behind him, and then you just see the circle, and then you see this being just kind of manifest. All It's really amazing. And it's all one continuous shot. It's not chopped up, so there's not any CGI or anything. It's all one continuous thing because he's walking
Right.
along, so you can tell. It's amazing. It is just
Well,
amazing.
I'm going to grab that link from when you send it to me, and I'm going to post it. It'll be in the chat. If
Yeah,
anyone wants to
you
go
gotta
look.
kind of if you're um, he's given this to somebody who's a born again Christian, so there's going to be a lot of Christian born again
That guy.
overtones to it. L.A.
That
Marzuli.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does the search for the Nephilim stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, the guy contacted him, and that's where he's published this video. So, but
I wish this thing would hurry up.
you just kind of overlook that part of it and just appreciate the video for what it is.
Yeah.
It's some awesome footage, really.
Yeah, I do remember clicking over to it now, and I was like, it was so Christian.
Yeah, you
And
just
this is the only way to do it. And I'm like,
just turn the volume down and just watch the thing silence. It's a little
Yeah.
much, but it's not. It's good.
Yeah,
Let me catch up here on reading what YJ's got in here. Let's see. Um, Leave a wooden children's puzzle on the gifting table and see if they solve it. Hey, that's a great idea. A Chewbacca action figure. No, they would. That might insult them. I don't know. But it is kind of interesting. I've always thought that about Star Wars, how Chewbacca was in there. I'm like, this has got to be resident Bigfoot. What do they call that? Honorable mention. Let me see. I did a video 2 days ago explaining how I believe that orbs are somehow Sasquatch come and go. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, this big or Sasquatch contactee. In fact, he's got Sasquatch DNA. He had a great grandmother that was abducted because he's Native American, and his name is Sunbow, and he has a book. In fact, a couple books. Anyway, he was interviewed on Guy MTV, and he was talking about how they can go, how I just mentioned how they can raise and lower their frequency. Well, they can raise their frequency, and they travel in an orb form, and oftentimes they will hide inside the trees during the daytime and nap in there. so that they're not found and nobody is able to like sneak up on them. Um, I don't know what they do with their physical body. He didn't really explain that, I guess. But yes, they do. They go into orb form. And there were some other parts of this. Oh yes, another thing that they do is they exchange consciousness with like ravens, for example, and they want to see where the prey is, and so they will telepathically contact the raven who's up there in the tree and ask to borrow their eyes, and they do, and they're able
That's
to
so
leave their
Terry
body,
Pratchett.
go up to the raven and get inside the raven's body. The raven just kind of sidesteps or takes a back seat, I guess. I'm not really sure how that, if it totally exits the body or just takes a back seat, lets the Sasquatch come up, look to see where the deer or the game are that they're hunting for, and then they're like, "Thank you," and leave. So they can do that with all kinds of. They said everyone in the animal kingdom can do that with each other, and that there's a, you know, it's like no big deal. It's that they do it all the time. So I guess maybe my cats are switching punches with the rabbits and the squirrels and God only knows what. That'd be kind of fun though. But apparently we can do that too. I mean, if they can do it, surely we could.
You said borrowing, and that triggered. We talked about this behind the scenes, and that's
Hmm.
Terry Pratchett. He got that. He looked that up. He must have because it's the same exact word. Did it with the bees? Remember we were talking about that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Uh, it was so. Oh man. But
Yeah.
borrowing. That's what it was
Hmm.
called. Borrowing.
Borrowing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've had a very weird dream, and it's stuck with me for years. And it was, I am running down a country road, and there is a wolf next to me, running next to me, and at some point I merge with the wolf. I become the wolf, and I remember so vividly coming down on all fours and what it felt like to be in that body and run. And then I woke up. But it was so detailed and so literal. It would just, um, I remember feeling a snout and the wind, the air rushing up through the nostrils, and what that felt like. It was just amazing. And I would imagine then that when you merge or borrow, what was the term again? With
Borrow.
another creature, you would, get all of those physical sensations. Uh, if I was going to merge with a real raven, not just me raven, but a real raven, I would want to at least jump off that tree limb and fly and float around and get the exhilaration
Oh.
of, flying rather than just, borrow its eyes for a minute and see where my next meal's going to come from. I'd want to fly, wouldn't you?
Well, looks like it's you and me, Raven. Joe
Yeah.
has dropped off. He's working on something, so that's fine. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, borrowing. That is if anybody,
Borrowing. Yeah.
yeah, if anybody has ever read Terry Pratchett, go read about Esme the witch. She did borrowing, and she was the one I was talking about. I done it with the bees, and the bees have a collective consciousness. Do you remember this conversation?
Yes.
And like,
Yes.
instead of a fox, a wolf, a raven, an owl, the bees, and it's really hard to do with the bees to borrow the bees, and oh man,
Because
so
they're
cool.
such a hive mind. They're such a collective that
Yeah,
it's
and it's
hard for a
hard for
single one
like
to.
right that we can't think like that. We have a hard
Mm-mm.
time thinking of multiple perspectives, let alone bees hundreds of perspectives, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it all comes from all of it, not just one, because we are ego driven. One, we are one entity at the moment, and it's really oh man, it's so cool. Terry Pratchett nailed that one. If y'all ever get a chance to read Terry Pratchett's books, read them. You'll love them. If you like anything about the show, read Terry Pratchett. Anything, read Terry Pratchett. And oh my gosh, okay.
Oh,
Well, you know what, Raven, this has been great. We are now at 2.5 hours for the next hours. My target is 2 hours, right? And I'm glad we made 2 hours, but 2.5 hours, and it's 1 a.m. my time.
Yep, same here. We're on the same time.
Yep, same time zone. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Good show. It was a good show, and I'm so glad you came in.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
You have an open door. You got the key. I think you got a key. Didn't I give you a key? I don't know.
Yeah, you gave me.
You're a mod. You're a YouTube mod for sure. So you can post links in YouTube, and it will come up in the chat, and it won't get blocked. So
okay,
that's cool. But
I'll post a couple links to the things I was talking about, and that antenna search. You ought to do that antenna search, everybody, and see what's going on, and you can pick one out and then see who owns it and what year it was installed, all
public
that kind
records.
of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's now with this 5G thing, mine jumped from like 26 to 36 in 6 months time. So 10 new towers went up within a 4-mile radius of my house. I mean, that's just a bit much, I thought. Plus the antennas, I can't remember, 50 some antennas or whatever. And it's just, we go marching on. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No wonder I get dizzy when I'm out there raking leaves, you know?
Oh, Diane, it's all good. It's all good, Diane. But everyone has either got something to do, lost their connection, and it's me and Raven, which makes the show.
Shadow never came back. Oh, wait. Yeah.
He's.
Oh, there he is. He's in the chat room.
He's in the chat.
Oh, he says he'll be there shortly.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm getting tired, to be honest, and but that's okay. That's okay. I mean, I'm having to retitle the show. I'm going to title it "Cryptids, Crystals, Authors Borrowing All of It." That's the new title of the show. It's just Cryptids Part 2, but I'm going to rename it after we're done because this has gone on and on. Okay. Joe says little dog came and got him.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Understood. And yeah, Diane, you're in a time. You're 2 hours different than me and Raven, or 3. 2 hours. You are, I believe you're, I don't know, west of here.
Pacific.
Time zone.
Yeah, Pacific time. Oh yeah, Shadow said he's had some wolf dreams too. And that was because he slept on his side. I don't know if that. I've never heard that.
Slept on your side.
Yeah, because you sleep on your side, you have certain types of dreams. I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Speaking of that, when I sleep on one side, I don't sleep as well, and I have different dreams as if I sleep in a different position. But I think it has to do with comfort, or your blood flow and oxygenation. Something. There's something physical about it, of course, because it's sleeping.
I usually sleep right here in this chair with my feet up on the desk, or I'm slumped over like this on top of the keyboard, and I have little squares all the way across my forehead. Yeah, that's how I sleep. I don't like to sleep, actually. I don't sleep well. I have such vivid dreams, and usually they're negative or scary, and I try to avoid sleep, and so that's why I just kind of like a half-assed narcoleptic.
I understand.
So
well, let me go ahead and tell you, since we're here and now, let go of any fear and insecurity, and those things should stop. Shadow's coming back in. Okay. Devices not connected. There we go. He's coming back.
There you are.
What's up, guys?
Establishing communications. And but that's okay. Hold up. Audio. I'm
So what I
hearing
missed?
everything coming through your speakers, Shadow.
Yeah, I had the phone on.
Oh, okay. Better
So what I
now.
missed?
Okay, cool. Well, we were talking more about Bigfoot and talking about the cryptids. Were you here for the Yeah, you weren't here for the bear trap and the guy on TikTok. He left a set trap as a gift, and the
Well, he
place
was
was
given
wrecked when he came back.
a rusty old one that the big Sasquatch brought to him on the gifting rock. And so this idiot goes home, cleans it up, gets it working again, sets the damn thing, and then takes it back to the gifting rock, and then wonders why the next time he went out there, the whole place was torn up. It's like,
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
yeah.
Yeah, I took
Yeah,
the Sasquatch bringing that thing out, saying, "Here,
yeah,
get this crap out of my yard." That's what
Yeah.
I got from it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Instead, he cleans it up and gives it back to him. Oh, God. It's just dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You think he would have left, a gift basket or some, steak or something,
Yeah,
not
something.
a freaking.
Other things, yeah, other things this guy was leaving was old fruit and old stuff, and I'm like, why don't you go buy him a bag of oranges fresh and give him those, or a bunch of bananas? He showed the bananas that he left. They were split open, blackened, old, been sitting for like 3 weeks. I'm like,
God. That, I would take that as an insult.
It's like he was asking, the Sasquatch to come to his house and beat his ass.
Or like getting dead flowers. I mean, what's the,
Yeah, give fresh fruit. Make him a cheeseburger or something,
Yeah.
Dang.
Pack him a lunch,
Yeah, something nice, not old, crappy
Old
food.
fruit.
They
Yeah,
know what's old and nasty. They've lived on fruits and nuts and berries forever. They know what's good and what's not so good.
It's an insult.
Well, no, I would have literally actually left the steak to see if they're meat eaters, because me, I'm curious as to what they actually do eat, because that whole nuts and berries thing that will not.
They do.
Yeah, that will not, or a fish.
Right.
Nuts and berries are something that some animals eat because they're small, not something that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 feet tall that needs to eat about 50 pounds worth of food a day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Huge.
they can kill a
GM and
bear
YJ
with their hands.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bear, they could probably eat bear easy. Yeah, they definitely hunt deer. They hunt deer, and
yeah, I mean, look, just for example, look what bears have to eat. Yeah, sure, they'll eat nuts and berries, but they'd rather have fish and lots and lots and lots of fish. But then they go and they eat as much as they possibly can and then sleep all winter. Because if they didn't, they would die.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, Bigfoot doesn't hibernate. They go somewhere else.
Florida?
They go somewhere else. Yeah. Diane in the chat is saying the Native Americans leave smoked fish, leave fish and smoked fish.
Right.
And which is I would be like, oh, well, this is impressive. They worked on this for me as an offering.
Yeah, before that, she said there's a lot of weird stuff. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens in the surrounding areas of Forks, paranormal type stuff. Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm. I'll put that one up.
So, do you have a lot of UFOs there, or a lot of UFO sightings, Diane? I'm interested to know, because oftentimes they will see Bigfoot or Sasquatch coming and going out of UFOs, supposedly.
Yeah, I've
it
heard
seems
that
like
too.
one is accompanied with the other.
Mm-hmm. They often go hand in
It's entirely
hand.
possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
And,
if you go to a
although
place where UFOs are, you will find Bigfoot. If you go to a place where known Bigfoot, you will see UFOs. They
right,
seem
but
to
it's
be
kind of weird though. There's a reason why they we normally put animals in the back of the plane and stuff. Their fur and dander and stuff can cause havoc with electronics. I can't really picture like Chewbacca flying the Millennium Falcon. He'd literally need to. No, I mean let me finish. He'd literally need to like bathe quite a bit. You know what I mean? All the fur and stuff that he drops is going to get sucked into the air filters, the scrubbers, and clog those things up. You know what I mean? Every time we see every other
okay.
kind of alien, they're like, no hair. You know what I mean? Because that stuff will. The same thing with the astronauts. That's why they have to be incredibly clean because that will, mess up your air filters and your scrubbers.
Never thought about that, but
You
you're right.
All the
There's-
Greys and all the other aliens, you never see,
Well,
long
the Nordics,
hair.
I think,
Well,
are
the
the only
Nordics,
ones.
right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they got a steady supply of Pantene and what have you. But almost all the other ones, they're pretty, clean shaven and, bald or whatever because that will, right? That will, like I said, mess up your scrubbers.
YJ's got something that I've heard from several different experiencers. The Sasquatch don't like the Greys, but they do work with it because they're not given a choice. I have heard that too,
Yep.
and it makes sense. And I will go with Keith on this one. That the Bigfoot are an ancient race, and they live here. This is their place. This is their home. They just are on a different frequency than us, and the Greys can go to that frequency, and they don't have a choice because the Greys are here not for the Bigfoot. I think some of the Greys are here for us. There's a
absolutely.
variety of reasons.
I always thought of it like a little bit different, like not like they're pets, but like maybe they're hunting dogs or prisoners or something like that, as opposed to them being working together or maybe they're just like dumping them off here or something like that, as opposed to.
Well, it's more like they're the locals. They're more of the locals. Like we are the ones in the protected zone, right? And they're the ones, they know of us. This is my interpretation, right? They know of us. They're some more locals of Earth. And I'm with R. Keith on this. They're an ancient race. They were here before us. They will be here after us. And since we can only perceive and experience what we normally do, right? This stuff, this 3D, they can go into their frequencies, meaning the Bigfoots. The Bigfoots go into their frequencies and here, and the Greys are here for us as some kind of observable, some kind
Hybrid.
of test subject, something, right?
Hybrid
Some
program.
kind of project, and some of them, not all of them.
I don't know. I would
like
think that at some point they would, like kind of evolve like we did and like all other animals. If you look at all of the older animals, they were all incredibly hairy and furry.
Right.
And over time, they aren't anymore because here on Earth, even the elephants, we don't find any, furry elephants anymore.
Any woolly
All the
mammoths.
cats,
Yeah.
they're all
you
their
have
hair has gotten
divergent-
shorted.
You have all kinds of divergent branches and of evolution. The different kinds of shrimp, the different kind of frogs, they're all different because of some factor that affected in their surroundings or things that affect them.
Genetic manipulation.
Well,
There's
there's
supposedly
that.
22 races here conducting their experiments. And that's why planet Earth has such a diverse type of wildlife. I guess on other planets, there's not so many different species all on one place. Like we have
apparently
here. We're literally like a zoo.
Right.
Well, like South Park, there's a planet of zebras and a planet of grizzly bears only are the big gigantic mix of all these creatures. Everywhere else, it's like one thing or a couple of different things that survived all their years on their planet to now they're more or less one of the only things left.
Right.
Was,
That was lends to what I was about to say. Was this place seems to be some sort of nexus where all this stuff is happening here on Earth in our reality, and everybody wants to see it. It's the best show in town.
I've heard that
again. South Park.
Well, there's supposedly 5 different races of the Greys that we know of thus far, and 3 of them are benevolent and 2 of them are not. And
now, let's say benevolent and malevolent. Let's just say they have their own interest at heart, not ours. Right?
And some of them, the 2 that are malevolent, they do not have empathy, so they do not understand how terrifying it is for a human to be abducted. They have no sympathy. They have no. It's just not there.
I believe our Keith calls them. They're the ones. They're more like drones or androids, but they're biological.
Those are those little ones.
And they're programmed. Those are the ones without the emotions.
Right.
Well.
And then there are some that are like 5 and 6 feet tall that are just, we would say that they are evil, but I mean they're just doing their own thing
out for their own stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. They always say they here's how they categorize this: service to self and service to others. Those that are of service to others are part of the galactic alignment, and they're waiting for humans to grow up and mature a little bit before they let us into that. But service to self are their own little. They don't care who they hurt or what. They just don't care about anybody else other than their agenda.
And so, springing off of that, I would like to bring up this comment from YJ regarding the earlier conversation about ravens being used to see out of borrowing. I wonder how many humans are on an observation vessel without even knowing it. That's a good question. That's a very excellent question. How many people are being used as eyes and ears, and they don't have any conscious awareness of that?
Oh, probably a good percentage of the ones that have been abducted. Going back to I know the movie version, Fire in the Sky, was very different from the actual experience, but the Greys there were completely unsympathetic to Travis Walton's experience. We're the same way with animals that we capture and observe and tag and things like that. We may be feel a little sorry for the animal that we're tagging or what have you, but a lot of times they'll never know that, and the animal can't perceive the sympathy that we have because they're unconscious. We'll pet the poor lion as we staple a tag to its ear or whatever. But all the lion knows is that, hey, I woke up, I got this damn thing on my ear.
You're right. Right. Well, like in Travis Walton's case, if they would not have taken him aboard and worked on him, that would have killed him because he got too close to that field and it zapped him.
What the story says, how the story goes.
And so,
they had to fix him.
Right. Yeah, they saved his life. But there's a lady that I know who does Reiki, and she was working on a client. And as she was working on her, this little alien gray guy was attached to her and had to kind of like get out of the way. So he kind of half manifested off to the side, freaked her out totally. And that I just thought of that because of YJ's comment of, how many of us are being used and don't know it for, our eyes and ears and our perception. And so that was kind of what was going on with this lady. And she was like, God, do I tell her? Do I not tell her? What do I do? and he walked out behind her, and they kind of just disappears. I don't know if he just went right back inside her or what, but he raised off the table and then went over to the side and then stood there while she finished doing her treatment on this lady. Oh my God. I don't know what I would do if I saw something like that. I think I would just freak out. Yeah, probably. But you know, what do you do? How do you break that to somebody? Excuse me, man. Do you know you got a little gray guy following you around, or merging in with your aura? How would you even say something like that to somebody without them even thinking you're crazy or scaring them?
I'm a big dumb caveman. I would have hit it with the nearest big heavy thing until it stopped wiggling.
I mean, do you tell them? Do you not tell them? What do you do? Luckily for her, she kind of gently started to approach the topic, and the woman was aware of it, and she had been actively trying to make contact and stuff like that. So it worked out okay for her, but that still just freaks me out. And she's like, "Well, if you knew this, you could have warned me beforehand, because here I am doing this treatment on you, unprepared to see something like that. You could have next time, you might want to let somebody know."
Warn somebody, that you got a alien grade parasite hanging out with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you, YJ. You blunt honesty, no interpretation, don't filter. Let them know and accept the consequences. Same thing with me and the haunted girl. They never spoke to me again. They never wanted nothing to do with me again. That's the way it was supposed to be. So that's the way it was. And yeah, I would want to know, and I would probably tell the person. I would feel obligated, and they'd probably never speak to me again over it. Been there, done that. And yeah, you're right. They probably never would, because that is a hard truth to take on, right? But truth is truth. You deal with it however you can.
So a warning to all you practitioners out there: hook your place up with lots and lots of cameras.
Learn personal shielding.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't want to get sued, if you've got, some photo evidence, you can go, hey, you've got this thing following you around, and here's some proof, here's some, evidence.
Yeah.
Probably not going to show up, but
saying your conscience is clear, but about telling that person, yeah. And the cameras are only limited usability. That's for like home security against other humans.
No, I know.
Which is totally.
If any kind of cameras worked, we'd be inundated with video evidence that's not on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be all over everybody's Twitter and Instagram and everything, but it doesn't.
Right.
And everyone would say, "Oh, I'll start a webpage, or I'll put it on my Facebook," and it would all be there, but it isn't.
Yep.
And but
which is weird, because if you think about it, they should work. The cameras should work.
Yeah.
From what I understand, there's something going on in that respect that makes it not work, and I for the life of me, can't really figure out what that would be. What could you do that would fool a camera? A camera is a pretty simple, thing, especially like the old cameras. Digital, that's different, but the original cameras we were using back in the day, 35 millimeter, things like that, they should have had no trouble picking that stuff up, literally at all.
Right, and that's why I think that it affects. That's why I go with frequency, because it's not direct evidence; it's indirect evidence. Like, they find black holes by the patterns around them, not they can't see them directly.
Yeah.
The fact that all these cameras, what do they all have in common? They observe light, right? They observe light, not the electronic, but the chemical light interaction of a film camera. Well, what can affect light that we know of? Gravity. But what else we don't know of? We only have so many. We have a bunch of physical laws, but what about the ones we don't know about? And what about
Right.
the nuances of the laws we have that we think we know, and we're always finding out new stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
The
like
quantum's
yeah,
turned everything upside down on its head. Newtonian
yeah,
physics is just kind of out the window now. Unless you
yeah.
bring quantum
It's
into
like
it, you know.
okay, well that's Newtonian physics is now chapter 1 of how
Yes.
to be existing in this realm,
Yeah.
and there's
Now,
so much other stuff.
does magnetic affect the light photons?
Only when it's really strong.
Right.
Okay,
And it would have to be so strong that it would mess up all kinds of things around it.
right,
Okay.
right, and you said magnetic. Our magnetic field is kind of like a shield for us.
Yeah, our
Okay,
magnetosphere,
it's
right.
yeah. All of us, we're all tuned in to exist here. It's like breathing mostly oxygen and nitrogen rather than helium or something else. That's what I mean. We're adjusted to the magnetic field. So we
Right.
and our filters, our ears help us filter a lot of that stuff out. I mean, this is science now. Okay, there are sounds out there that we're not supposed to hear, and that's part of the EM field, but it's so far out that dog whistle, right?
I think we'd all go crazy if we could really hear all that range of stuff because
Yeah,
you're
our
familiar with the Schumann
filters.
resonance, if I'm
Yeah,
saying
our
that word.
filters are there for a reason, so
Yeah.
we can
For
exist here,
longer.
right? And looking into the other ways, looking into the other frequencies,
I think that's
Dicyan
probably
and
a
Goggle.
blessing too, because we would see all kinds of scary shit.
Yeah,
You
we
know?
Yeah,
would
you
be
guys
able to
remember that
interpret.
movie? You guys remember that movie From Beyond, that H.P. Lovecraft movie, where the
Don't think
scientist
about that.
creates that? No,
I don't remember
scientist
it.
creates a machine that allows people to basically see things that they're not ready to see, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff floating around and swimming around and floating through us, and eventually um, they realize that they can be seen and they don't take it too kindly.
Mm-hmm. So that's like the
And
whole night vision thing like we were talking about, Nathan.
Hmm?
Uh, the guy that invented the night vision. See, I've got it written down here in my
Mm-hmm.
book. And then the U.S. military got a hold of it, and they
And
were
then they
giving it
combined
to
it
all
with
of their
dicyanin.
helicopter pilots over in Nam. And then all of a sudden, our own guys are shooting each other out of the sky, and they're like, what's going on? And with these goggles that they had on, they were able to see into the astral, and they were seeing all kinds of demonic creatures, and they were
right,
trying to
shoot
kill
them.
the demon. Yeah, shoot them down or whatever. And yeah, I mean, if we could see, I always wonder. I would love to be able to see through my cat's eyes because supposedly a cat can see into the astral. They see ghosts and spirits
And
and
don't just give it. Don't forget the dogs.
dogs can too. Yes, true.
Well, it's got to be because that's what my dog is constantly barking at stuff that's not there. Maybe he's just
Yeah,
barking at the lead, but I mean,
and that's got to be frustrating for him looking at you going, don't you see? Don't you see it? Yeah.
yeah,
But
we'll not just see, but smell and hear.
I think it's
Yeah, that's
probably
stuff that
a blessing that we don't see into the
right.
infrared or the ultraviolet.
Yeah. Oh, that
Well,
reminds me. Y'all have heard of the quantum radar that they experimented with?
No, do
no,
They
tell.
experiment. I don't have. I'm gonna have to leave another link, but they experimented with quantum radar, and when they turned it
Quantum radar.
on, quantum radar, they turned it on and they saw all this stuff that wasn't
Oh wow.
corresponding with anything else that they were seeing. So they go, "Oh, this must be broken." So they turned it off, and it was no, it's there. It's just we can't see it normally, and it's not here normally.
So what
Looking at
like quantum radar? What is it? What is it doing? Is it going up, showing the astral realm, or is
everything.
it showing like the dimensions be under us, like second
Look,
dimension or that hellish dimension?
It's so complicated, okay, that all of that, but not any of that, makes no sense, right? Because we don't. This is a whole nother like set of shows.
yeah,
to
it would
talk
have to be
about.
the upper dimensions because the lower ones, get down to basically smaller and smaller versions of our reality to where, eventually, you're looking at just a dot. Whereas the upper ones, I could see that them, our devices being able to pick up the fourth and fifth and sixth dimension as opposed to the zero, the negatives, and the first and the second. You're not really going to see
I've heard
anything
there's
because
levels to it. Like each dimension
basically,
has like 10 levels, 10 or 12 levels to it. Kind of like an onion. It just has
kind of,
these
yeah. And
thinner, thin layers.
the closer you get to the center, which is the lower dimensions, the more compact everything is, and you basically not see anything. But the upper ones, I could definitely picture, from what I've, read and studied, that you would see a lot of kind of crazy stuff in the upper levels.
That reminds me, there is this dude that has figured out a way to take pictures of this stuff, and these are some creepy, nightmarish looking little critters. He's got he doesn't even speak English. He's a Spanish guy. I was trying to tell Nathan about it this week, and I can't. I should have looked that up. Anyway, he got an Instagram page. I will find that and send that to you, and it is frightening.
Well,
I did a show.
You got to remember a couple of things though. If our government gets any sort of sniff or whiff of it, that's going to be shut down. Just that guy will disappear, within moments. DMT was what I was thinking of, because when people do that, they see things that can only be, otherwise described as, extra dimensional, extra planar, or some sort of, hellish, demonic little monsters or large ones.
Yeah, that's what these things like gargoyles, monsters. So why is the government hiding Bigfoot from the public? Why are they?
Because it's something. Because it's got it. The only reason would be that it's something connected to one of the many things they don't want us to know, which is that life outside of Earth is possible. The last thing they want is for anybody to start thinking, "Hey, let's leave Earth and stop paying taxes," because their entire existence is predicated on how much we pay in taxes.
Yeah. True.
And if we were, to ever leave, everybody would leave. You'd find Earth is, completely abandoned because, corporations would be able to take people off Earth, and people would go. They would just straight up go, and then there would be no taxes, and their power base would disappear. That's why we won't colonize the moon, because as soon as we colonize the moon, some people on the moon are going to get the bright idea of wanting their independence, and then all that money that was spent colonizing the moon just got wasted. Like when we came here from. Well, it's different when it is structured and governed by a secret, breakaway society. If the regular masses were, able to go to other planets, Mars and what have you, they would, they'd want their independence, and they would stop paying the taxes, stop working for their power structure here on Earth, and eventually Earth would be, pretty much abandoned. There would be nobody left. Everybody would go elsewhere, and all the, fat cats that are here would lose all their power, and literally have to expand out there, and their whole existence is based on ruling Earth, not on, trying to,
Power control. Yeah.
rule the other planets, which, they'll eventually figure out how to do it. But for the meantime, keep everybody dumb and paying taxes and stuck here. And, at some point, then they'll be able to afford to just go there themselves and then leave us here on a putrid and dying Earth that they, polluted to death.
We outnumber them. Why shouldn't we just round them up and kick them off the planet? Send them up to Mars. Elon Musk wants to go to Mars so bad. Great. Get out. We can kick them off the planet. All of them.
We could try, but
people
you gotta understand that 99% of the population is dumb, stupid, and lazy, and fearful.
Yeah.
That's why we don't stand up right now, considering all the evil that's being done all over the planet, and we don't do anything about it because no one wants to be that first guy to get shot.
I got my pitchfork ready. I'm ready to take in the streets. Let's go. I will not comply.
Good for you.
Talking about how they want to bring back the lockdown. I went out every day without a mask.
Same here. Same here.
Because I could.
Well, I did my best. I didn't get shot, no boosters, and I didn't get sick. And I would go out, no mask, none of this crap. I'd go to 5-6 stores every Saturday doing all my shopping and stuff. Never got so much as the sniffles. But then again, I'm a smoker, and early on, people were talking about how nicotine was killing it, and I'm going to chalk it up to that. I'm sure it's just my subconscious just looking for another excuse to not quit smoking, but I'm going with it that it saved my life.
Yeah.
Even though it's slowly killing me. But
I don't know ivermectin. Oh, I got my cigarettes. Thank you very much.
I got the ivermectin too, and the hydrochloroquine and all that stuff is available if you want to do what it takes for it. Yeah. And what was even better than all that was good old fashioned fresh air, sunlight, and positivity.
Yeah, exactly.
If you keep telling yourself you're going to get sick, you're going to get sick. You tell yourself you're not going to get sick, there's a chance you won't get sick.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and I thank my lucky stars. And next time around, hopefully that'll work. But I'm pretty sure the Gateses and the Klaus Schwabs and those guys are going to try a lot harder next time. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but it sure did seem to go after the most dangerous people on the planet. The old, the wise, not the young, dumb, sheeple.
The numbers don't lie.
All the old people, the people with all the money, and where did that money go when they died? Oh, to their idiot children who then funded a certain, political party and, did all kinds of stupid things with it. Because what happens when young people inherit money from their grandparents? They blow it, and they do dumb things with it, and they end up right back where they started after, 6 months. Oh, nice inheritance. Now it's gone. And those are all the people it went after.
Okay, well, let's stop there because we're gonna get all busted. We keep talking about this on YouTube.
Oh, you're right.
Not Rumble, but it's been over 3 hours.
Are you guys on Rumble?
Good. What?
Are any of you guys on Rumble yet?
I am on Rumble.
I'm on Rumble.
Okay, I did not know.
All of it is going over to Rumble. It gets processed after the fact. But
man, to ask you, is it me or does it take like forever for your videos to upload? There,
it takes forever. And I don't know. I don't understand how they're doing it, but I'm sure it's some network traffic balancing. I'm not sure.
Because I've got almost 600 videos, and mind you, I jumped over to Rumble like 2 months ago, and the only videos that are showing up are the new ones.
Yeah.
Not one single video showed up from the old days.
Well, some of mine are starting to show up. The toy videos, the old ones.
Okay.
They do. It takes time, and I don't know what the algorithm that they use picks and choose videos from. But let's end it there. It's been over 3 hours, and we're getting.
Yep.
I got stuff. I started late on a bunch of stuff that I need to finish up here. House stuff, chore
Okay.
stuff. But
Gotcha.
And okay. Thank you everyone for joining the Quantum Show. And this has been a blast. We went all over the place tonight. First hour and next hours. This was awesome. I loved it. I love doing it. Okay. So
another chat. Cool. All right. Good night, everybody.
Oh, hey, Justin. Take care, everybody.
Everybody have a great weekend or week, whatever it is for you. It's my week tomorrow. And y'all remember, keep it quantum.
Keep it quantum.
Yep. We're out.
Adios.
And pushing buttons.